Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joel Moran and I'm here with River Brown, Andrew Velez, and John Carlos. And this is now episode 154. In this episode, we are going to be recapping the NBA trade deadline. That includes talking about the Blockbuster 76ers and Nets deal, Pelicans getting CJ McCollum, the new look Kings, and much more. A quick Patreon shout out to William, Tyler, Ruthless Rootster, Sensei Stevie, Drew Stop Whining, S.A. Crimes, Kevin, Woody Buckets, Tizzy, Corey, Max, Dylan, Playboy, Orlando, Chris, Charles, Michael, Greg, Cole, On Bloods, Cuz, Liam, T Grove, B Money, Ryan, Epic Lankiness, Travis Ball, Aaron Moran, Matthew Jimenez, It's Black Ace, Anthony, BJ, PJs, Langston, Jazzy Juice, Johannes, Ruben, Ricky, Enzo, Sean, Muffins, John, Sean Triplet, Court Cousins, Ben Mack, P. Dot, George, Hikari, Mateen, Dave 2 Freedom, and Jay Aqua.
Good old Jay Aqua. Let's get into it, y'all.
Shout out to Red Fam.
So this is going to be a great episode. It's Thursday, which means the trade deadline has ended today. This entire episode is going to be dedicated to talking about the trade deadline.
Love it.
Before we do that, though,
all right.
Shout out to PJs. He's a Patreon supporter. His name is Peter, and he sent us this Josh Giddey jersey.
What a legend. Turn it around. Oh, beautiful.
Has Giddey on the back.
Mid. Oh, my goodness.
And he wrote us a letter, and I'm going to read the letter right now on the pod. It says, from Peter James. He's from Australia. It's pretty dope.
We're going to try not to cry here.
The Pick a Side Boys. That's what it says right here.
With the Z. Yes. Yeah, swag.
Yeah, that is a very swaggy thing to do.
Correct.
Z, not
yep,
S.
no.
Yeah, that's really cool. I didn't even think of that. Okay. It says August 1st, 2022. So maybe this is how long he's had this letter for, man.
August, say it one more time. 21?
August 1st, 2022.
Bro, that hasn't happened yet.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so that's why I'm wondering. You meant 21?
It says August 1st, 2022.
Yeah, interesting.
Okay,
bro, that hasn't happened yet.
I was thinking too, like, wait, what?
Okay. Hi, guys. Since Joel is a Gideon, I thought I would have an authentic NBL Giddey jersey made up for you all. I enjoy the show, and I believe you all have a big future in sports podcast / content, and wanted to send you some support from down under. There is one condition, though. Riv has to wear the jersey on the show if Giddey gets another triple-double before the end of the season, as I know he is a big Giddey and NBL fan with a winky face. Keep producing original, interesting content covering a broad variety of teams and players across the NBA. It is refreshing to watch. P.S. Go the Pistons and Thunder! ! And P.P.S. If there are any custom fees or entry fees that need to be paid, send me the info. He put down his email, and I will take care of it directly. Regards, Peter PJs.
This team suck.
I know, Pistons and OKC.
Horrible.
Jeez, that's a tough year. Detroit in.
Give Peter some love.
Shout out to Peter, man. Thanks for the jersey.
He's being mad negative. Oh, my God.
Peter, man.
It's because he knows that Peter did this low-key in spite of Riv. But at the same time, what a genuine gift. A Giddey jersey, that is so lit.
The jersey is tough. I ain't going front. It is actually a really nice
That's
jersey.
an excellent way to put it. A genuine gift.
It is.
I'm blown away that somebody would send us something like this.
No, honest to God, that's a big gift. That is not
and
normal.
The package itself costs $100 to get here.
He spoiled us.
Sure, yeah.
Shout out to Peter.
For real.
Josh Giddey. So I don't know when he sent this out, but I'm pretty sure it was well before Josh Giddey had a triple-double.
I'm assuming
he's had like 3 in the past, like what?
Maybe it was August
weeks?
1st, 2021.
Nah, but then he said another triple-double, so I don't know.
So probably like when he first got his first triple-double, we can look up that date. You have to wear this jersey, bro.
He didn't get the triple-double.
He's going to get it, though, today. What if he gets it tonight?
They're playing
Next
right now,
episode.
aren't they? Yeah, they are playing right now. I hope he doesn't get it.
Where are they playing?
Maybe they're not playing. I thought they were playing. Might be thinking of the Rockets still.
Well, we want to thank Peter, PJs.
No doubt.
Peter PJs, a fan of the show, sent us this jersey, a Josh Giddey jersey from the NBL. It says Sixers on it.
Hungry Jacks.
And he The deal was, because he knows I'm a big Josh Giddey fan, I call myself a Gideon, and he knows that you're not the biggest Josh Giddey fan. The deal was, if he gets one more triple-double this season, you have to wear this jersey. But we're going to make some new rules right here. We're going to post this on TikTok.
I like it.
If Josh Giddey stitches or duets this video, you have to wear this jersey on the show.
He about to do it, bro. Get ready, bro.
I take the deal.
That's a good deal.
I'll take the
That's
deal.
a very firm deal.
I'll take the deal. I'll throw the jersey on if he stitches a deal.
You also have to.
Yeah,
He
now you
said
got to
deal.
give. You have to give. I'll write down a little speech for you to say about how much you love Josh Giddey. Also,
Then that's the extra. That means he has to also get the triple double.
okay, interesting.
So if he gets the triple double and he stitches it, I'll read the letter and I'll wear the jersey for
All
the
right.
full episode.
Okay.
All right.
We
Deal.
should actually pick. We should actually have our fans pick out what they want him to say.
Interesting. Okay,
That's fine. That's fair. That's fine. He has
Like
to get
a-
another triple double.
the top comment of what they want Riv to say.
Gideon.
That's pretty lit. That's pretty
Gideon,
lit.
man. That's a Gideon fan club.
Yeah, we'll see.
They're real.
I know.
No,
It's
they're
insane.
real.
It's insane.
I told you, like, I would wear this jersey. It just doesn't fit me yet. Well, it's gonna fit me soon, but it doesn't fit me yet.
Talk. Grind mode.
Yeah, man, I'm grinding, bro.
You are, bro.
Yeah. I'm
Hardest
grinding.
worker. New Jersey right there. Grind mode.
Yeah. Bro, it's just that motivation. Once I get motivated,
That's
man,
it.
it's kind of just flows.
You gotta wear that
Motivated
to the
Joel.
open gym
Yeah.
runs. You gotta wear that to the open gym runs.
Coming
Yeah,
in
for
like
real.
Giddy.
Diamond like Gideon.
Nah, that jersey is so fire.
Nah, yeah, I actually watched him when he was played for this team.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? You were in Australia or?
No, like, what do you mean? I can watch it
NBA?
on YouTube. Yeah.
Oh,
Yo, come on, bro.
I didn't
Bro,
understand.
that's why I scouted Gideon. I was like, he's gonna be good. And Riv was like, I don't see it. It was like NBL.
Yeah, you were
competition
rude.
sucks.
You were rude. Like you could have just said, "Nah, he's not it," but then you were like adamant, "He's not
I
it."
feel like saying nah, it's not is worse than what I said. I'm just blunt. I just say how I say it. There's no like adjustment to how I say it. So
No, I'm talking about. Can you put the jersey? Yeah, hang it up. There's the thing right there.
somebody called
And
me like
have
a
the
meerkat.
Giddy show.
Huh?
Somebody say I'm like a meerkat.
What's a meerkat?
What does that
You
mean?
look like one.
No, like I just come out and I just
Negative.
yeah.
I'll tell you what, they're not wrong.
It's life, man.
You're not, it's either you're one way or the other. You're either 100% supportive or you're 100%. This guy sucks. No in between. Right?
Somebody messaged the Instagram and said I needed to apologize to you for last show.
me. Oh, you
Yeah.
for what?
Bro, for the whole segment of him not answering your question.
Yeah.
Why would he apologize?
Somebody messaged.
Bro,
somebody
that was
messaged
so
the
damn
pod.
funny.
Somebody messaged the pod and was like, "The way Joel treated Riv just turned me off. He doesn't deserve that." And it's no. I'm not gonna lie. After the segment, there was real tension there. Like if you like, I know that they can feel it. If you guys watched until that segment, you guys know you could have felt it. Here, the feeling was even stronger.
Yeah, for real.
We stopped hitting record. It was just like, okay, y'all, I'll just see you. Like, I'll see you later. You walk out. JC, he usually stays for a little bit. He's like, yo, I'm out to the crib.
I was trying to get that food, bro.
Facts.
Shit was warm.
Nah, but yeah, there was some real tension there. But I've barely. That was the only message that I got or comment that I seen of like asking for me to apologize or someone to apologize.
What do you think, bro? You needed to apologize or no?
No.
I don't think so.
I don't
either.
think he did. I thought after the night was over, we was done with it. I was just like,
I
we
said
kind of have a rule on the podcast that whatever happens on the pod stays on the pod.
that's it. That's the only way you got to treat it.
Yeah, there are some times where things will get outside of it and
Yeah.
there'll be some, but that's very like few and far
I was
between.
gonna say it's
That's how
been
we
months,
survive,
if
bro.
that. It's
Yeah.
been months.
It really has been
months.
months.
that's how we survive, man.
For real though,
We survive.
you got to overcome the adversity to really come out on the other side.
Yeah, because it's one thing for comments and negative stuff on the outside to get to us, but we can't get to each other.
No,
You
definitely.
know what I'm
not.
saying? Like
Definitely
that's
not.
like this. It's a team thing. So, yeah, just wanted to say that because I'm pretty sure he might be watching this pod right now, and he's like, "I hope he apologizes." He's like, "If he doesn't apologize, I'm turning this podcast off."
That's insane, bro. That's like our third time doing that, third or fourth.
Yeah, the other one was when we debated the LeBron rings thing.
Yeah, in the bubble, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was one.
Was that a minute ago?
that was a while ago. Yeah,
We do it probably like once a year, and it happens. So
like it's a very heated.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's very heated.
very,
I don't feel like we get like that. I just feel like you and I just get animated.
no, it's just me and him. It's always just me.
You know what I mean? Like if we're getting into an argument, it's an animated argument. It's not like a yo, you don't know anything. What are you talking about? No, it's not like that.
The
Me and you,
Sixers.
we barely get into any arguments like that at all. Maybe with the Lakers at most.
You're a little, I don't.
It's because you don't like to argue with me. That's what it is.
It's not. I win.
What are you talking? All right, I'm gonna make sure to disagree with you today. I'm gonna make sure to disagree with you.
The Sixers and Nets completed a blockbuster deal that
Oh boy.
we were looking forward to happening. It's a simple question. Who got better after this deal, or which team got more better? Or do you think the 76ers are now better than the Nets, or the Nets now better than Philly? You're the Nets fan here. I'm going to start with you, JC.
All right, so I'm going to be as objective as possible. So the trade, I think the trade was pretty much even. But with that being said, there's still a lot of question marks on the Nets. We haven't seen Ben Simmons play in a really long time, so we don't know how he's going to come back. Kyrie Irving's vaccination status. I'm hearing that there might be a change by next week. Could be wrong, but that's another question mark. Kevin Durant's injuries. A lot of continuity with this group. It's a new group heading in after the All-Star break with only about 20 some odd games to get the chemistry going. So as crazy as it sounds, I wouldn't be surprised if the Nets really didn't do anything this year outside to get to the second round. I just don't think that you can put a team like this on the fly that quickly and have instant results. Now, I think the Nets will be better geared towards next year because they got 2 first-round picks. They got Claxton. They got a lot of pieces that they could flip for another solid player like a Miles Turner or a Jeremy Grant, something along those lines. But obviously they didn't get it in the trade deadline. I think that was a move that Marks and Thigh kind of said, let's just run it this year. Let's see what we can do with these picks, and, we'll go from there. But in terms of Philly, them being able to keep Matisse, who was somebody that I really wanted him. Like, I was probably going to make a Matisse Stan account because, I just love the way he plays defense. And, that was smart that Daryl Morey didn't put that. But like I said, I was talking to a couple Nets fans earlier and James Harden stands. This is a big year for Philly, and I definitely think that Philly did get better. You got James Harden, you got to keep Maxey, you got Matisse, you have Joel Embiid playing at an MVP level, looking like the best player in the game, right now. That's how dominant he's been. So, it's a big year. I think Philly definitely got better in the short term. I think this is a win-now move for Philly. They're trying to execute and capitalize on how great Joel Embiid's been this year. And, them adding Harden, I think we could see a similar storyline. I think Harden gets to Philly and starts balling out like we've never seen before. I think that's an actual possibility. But, Philly definitely got better. Philly, to me, is amongst the 3 best teams in the East right now that could make it out. I think this move for now puts them over the Nets. I still have to see what the Nets do next year with more continuity and what they do with those 2 first-round draft picks, whether they flip it for a player or whatever the case may be. I just think, the Nets on the fly, getting Ben Simmons, who hasn't played all year, Kyrie status, not really in the right mindset and time frame to really win a title this year. But out of the 2 teams right now, Philly definitely got better. You got James Harden, who's one of the best playmakers in the game. He's happy now. He's inspired. He's going to play great basketball. And, Philly got to obtain and maintain their best defender, Matisse, and that's going to be really big. He's a guy that you can throw on any superstar, point guard, shooting guard, small forward, maybe even power forward sometimes, depending on the weight and size, but he can hold his own. So right now, Philly has the upper end of the bargain in the trade. But I will say one thing before I pass it along. If James Harden doesn't win a championship with this team this year right now, it's going to look really, really bad on him. So this was a win-now move for Daryl Morey and Philly, and all I got to say is you guys better get it done. Because the way you forced your way out of 2 situations in Houston, now Brooklyn, you wanted this team, bro. All the cards is on your table. Let's see what you could do.
Luckily, I'm not a Harden stan, so, I could care less if he wins or not.
I've been critical of James Harden. There's no doubt that I have been. And I want to say this, just because I'm one of James Harden's biggest fans doesn't mean that I'm going to cater to every single one of his moves that he does, because I definitely feel like in this situation he was wrong. I think forcing himself out the way that he forced himself out, then a report coming out saying that he didn't want to publicly request a trade because he didn't want the optics of it to look bad, when we already knew you wanted out. It was obvious by the way you were playing, you didn't want to be in Brooklyn anymore. I didn't like how he handled the entire situation. When he first got traded to Brooklyn, I put my Harden jersey on. I wore my beard. I was celebrating. Now I don't feel that same type of enthusiasm just because of the way he's handled this entire situation. And I don't think it's really going to work. I have a lot of question marks about this. Philadelphia.
That's interesting.
Traded the trade on paper is Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Drummond, and 2 first-round picks. But in all actuality, it was just Seth Curry and Andre Drummond in the first-round picks because Simmons has not played for Philly all year long. They have not had him all year long. So it's really just like the players that have been in their rotation, they're just swapping out Curry and Drummond for Harden. Philly has a lot of depth, has a lot of floor spacing. They're talking about Tyrese Maxey starting next to Harden. I would put Tyrese off the bench personally. I think he'd be better off the bench, and I would start Harden, Danny Green, Thibault, Harris, and Embiid. Depending on if I need more shot creation, I would start Maxey. But I think off the bench, he'd be a great 6-man. They still have Korkmaz. They still have Shake Milton, who's there even though he hasn't played much. They have Niang. This team is really good. I'm not denying it. But I still question if they go to Milwaukee and you have Jrue Holiday who can guard James Harden, do a solid job on him. Now, how does the team look then? I feel like there are still teams that match up well with Philly. Miami Heat and Philly in a series. I'd probably pick Miami. We know James Harden's track record in the playoffs. Even though it's not as bad as I think everybody likes to make it out to be, he definitely doesn't play at the superstar level every single given time. And there are games and series where he does have stinkers. I thought this was a great deal for the Brooklyn Nets. Ben Simmons is not as bad as people think he is. Because of that playoff run and because of his playoff experiences, he's been getting shitted on. But there is no other time that he's gotten shitted on this bad than what he just went through. Like, he went through the worst of it. And him not playing this year made it worse. But Brooklyn just needs him to be a solid defender. He's an elite one. They just need him to be somewhat of a playmaker. Imagine a small ball lineup of Seth Curry, Kyrie Irving, Joe Harris, KD, and Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons, his entire career, has had to play with the center clogging up the lane. Now he doesn't have to play like that. But also, he's not being asked to be a primary scorer. Because you know KD and Kyrie can give you 30 every single night. Seth can give you 16. Mills off the bench can give you 12 to 15. Harris can give you 15 plus on any single given night.
Even Aldridge could give you 14.
And Aldridge has been good for them too. I feel like the Nets got better. I think they're the better team. And I think there's this new New York City thing going on that Kyrie might be available to play for home games. Mm-hmm. Ben Simmons is vaccinated, so that's not a problem. He'll play in home games. Nets at full strength are the better team. And if you're telling me who do I trust in the playoffs more, KD and Kyrie? If I'm getting a full-time Kyrie or Embiid and Harden, I trust KD and Kyrie. I think KD, but I just trust KD more than anybody in the league. I know Embiid has been playing at a great level, and he's one of the best players in the NBA. But I just really don't see it. I just think Harden, he's played with Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, Dwight Howard at one point, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, in Brooklyn again. If he doesn't get it done with this team, with Philly, after forcing his way out of 2 situations, it's going to look really bad on him. And before I pass it on to one of you guys, I want to say this. Ben Simmons didn't play in Philly because he was battling mental health issues. I'm not here to say those were false or not. In my gut, do I think it was kind of all of a play on the situation? I do. Did I believe him when he first did it? Given the timing of when the comments were made, I wasn't really sold. But Ben Simmons can't mess up this situation. Because Ben Simmons used mental health as a crux to not play basketball in Philadelphia, he can't come to Brooklyn and play right away. He has to wait a couple weeks. I think he joined the Nets on their road trip to Miami. If he played in that game, I would be shocked. Because if he plays in that game, it shows everybody that he was just lying about it. And that's a huge slap in the face of people who deal with real mental health issues. The smart thing, if I was Ben Simmons' PR person, which they put out a great statement, they said he has already talked to Katie and Sean Marks, eager to join the Nets. We've got work to do to get him back to play, but it's a great step in the right direction. That was a great PR statement. It basically means that he's not all in yet. He has to get through his troubles, but he's eager to join the Nets. I think we're going to see Ben Simmons in 2 to 3 weeks. I think 2 to 3 weeks, they have to give him that grace period until he could play again. Or else the optics of this entire situation are going to look horrible on his part. And this is his public image is going to take a huge hit, even more than what is taken, because he used mental health as a crux to not play for the 76ers. And then once he got traded, magically, hey, I'm good. Nothing's wrong with me. I can play. I think if that is the case, it's really disrespectful.
Just to answer that real quick so we can go back to the topic of Nets and Sixers. It's a possibility where his mental health issues stemmed from being in Philadelphia, being on the 76ers.
100%.
You understand what I'm saying? So as soon as he's traded to Brooklyn, there's a possibility where he feels a little bit in a different headspace, a better headspace, where he feels as if, all right, this is my time for a new opportunity, a clean slate, and I could just focus on playing basketball now and not have to worry about the extracurriculars. I do agree. I think he should wait a couple of weeks, 1 to 2 at the most for me personally. But it could just be where Philly fans were absolutely destroying him in the media, whether it be social media. When you see him in person, they just would absolutely bash him with a parade of comments that were just nothing but negative because of his inability to perform for them in the playoffs. He needed to get out of there. So it's a possibility that him coming to Brooklyn now frees up his mind and he's in a different space.
I agree with you. My problem with that is the comments about his mental health not being in the best of shape happened after he was getting fined.
Well, I thought it was before.
It was after he got fined.
Really? I
Yeah.
thought it was beforehand.
It was after reports of saying the Philly said we're going to fine him if he doesn't show up.
Oh, so this was a minute ago. When
Yeah,
they
it
said,
was in the
okay,
offseason.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Ben Simmons, once Philly was like, we're going to fine you. Oh, mental health.
But they still fined him.
They still fined him, but right now, like his agent, his representation, they're trying to fight against it, and they're trying to use mental health as a reason as to why he should get back that money.
Okay.
So that's why I don't know. That's why
It's hard for you to believe.
the timing of the comments is why I'm not all in on Ben Simmons' mental health
You can
and
go ahead.
deteriorating.
Then I'll give my comments.
This has been a very exciting deadline for us, for you, of course, you being a Nets fan, you being a Ben Simmons fan, and you.
I'm shocked.
Being a
I'm
hardest
shocked
fan.
on your thoughts personally.
About what?
About you being out on the Nets this season?
I was actually, that's funny because
You were gonna say the same?
you think about the situation just for a quick second. Brooklyn has lost 9 games in a row. Kevin Durant won't be back till the end of the month.
I know after the All-Star break.
So
Well,
it's
end of the month,
towards
yeah.
the end of the month. Kyrie can only play on road games. Ben, like you said, we're probably not going to see him for the next 2 or 3 weeks. So
Joe Harris is still hurt.
You're looking at
He might
Seth
get a
Curry.
second surgery.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
looking at
it's
Seth
not-
Curry on home games and then Kyrie and Seth on road games. It's not out the realm to say that maybe they, I'm saying Boston's climbing. They have an easy schedule.
look good.
Atlanta's still right behind everybody. Toronto's been steady.
6 right now.
So it's like, but I still think they'll get in the play-in because, they're going to be all right. But I think, it's okay to be that because it's like looking at the team, it's not looking too good right now. But I think on both sides, like you said, both sides won. You look at Philly, they wanted another star next to Embiid. They got it. You look at Brooklyn,
Shooting,
they wanted
defense.
depth. Shooting, length,
Rebounding.
defense, rebounding. They got it. Now, if you want to dig deep into the guys personally, then you can do that. But just from looking at the trade from a standpoint, I think both teams won. Now, for Philly, it's really about just Harden's. Can he survive in Philly? Can he get back to being who he is? If he can, that Philly crowd is rough. They're loyal. So if you play well, they're gonna be there for you. But if you don't, you're gonna hear about it. But like you said, you got to capitalize on Embiid's MVP level play right now. And Harden's probably, if you look at it, Harden's probably the guy to do it. He's the guy in the market. He's the guy that could probably get you to the top. I think Brooklyn is a little bit better right now because of the depth. I think fully healthy, Kevin Durant, Kyrie, they kind of cancel out Embiid and Harden. And then you got Seth, you got Joe Harris, you got Patty Mills,
Aldridge.
you got LA. So it's like, I mean, I like Mac. Listen, I knew Philly wasn't going to let Maxey and Thibault go in that trade. And I'm glad they kept both of those guys. But at the same time, their bench looks a little streaky. You know, like you said, Korkmaz, Niang. I trust Patty Mills and them boys on the bench more. But both teams look primed to really make a run in the playoffs if they're both healthy. I like the trade for both teams. Really, like I said before, for both teams, it's just about the mentality of both the guys that they traded for, Ben Simmons and James Harden. Can those mentalities step up, and can they really help their teams the way they need it? Philly was already surging. They've already been at an elite pace this year, and Embiid's doing his thing. Maxey's doing his thing.
East is wide open, they think.
The East is extremely wide open right now. You know, Miami, Milwaukee, Philly has entered that conversation with James Harden. Brooklyn, Chicago, Cleveland's up there. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're good. So it's like Boston's climbing. Atlanta can sneak anybody. It's like the East is wide open. So you get a guy like Harden to pair with Embiid. That's always special. But Brooklyn, it's depth. For them, it was depth. They outside of Kevin Durant, who was carrying them on the back this year, and Patty Mills, who showed up probably consistently. You don't know what Harden he was going to get every night. Kyrie was only playing on road games. It was just not enough consistency. So with Seth Curry, he's on a contract for I think another year or two. Mm-hmm. You know consistently he's going to be there every night. And in the playoffs, he's a dog. So that's no – Joe Harris is probably frosty in the playoffs. But Seth – he's a dog. So
and Patty too.
You know they come into play. So that spacing is gonna be there for shooters. And if Ben, he plays at the 5, you never know. The Drummond one, I'm tricky on Drummond because I've seen Drummond in the playoffs.
They needed depth at the big.
We need a rebounding. We're one of the worst rebounding teams.
But Drummond, I'm not excited about him against other bigs like in the East. I'm not really excited about
what against like a Giannis
center?
And Embiid. I mean,
yeah,
there's really no answer for them.
Yeah, so it's like. At that point, I would just play offense for defense. But like you said, the depth. You just get it for depth. Mm-hmm. Andre Drummond, he's been solid in his backup role this year. So I think if he comes off the bench this year for you guys, he's going to continue that, solid performance. But I think win trade for both guys. I don't know about you guys. I think win.
I kind of wish that, obviously Mark's made some more magic. I kind of wish that we would have traded one of those picks and like a Claxton for like a Miles Turner, see if we could make the contracts match. Because Miles Turner is a stretch 5 as well. And you can run the lineup with him, and he's a pretty good three-point shooter as well.
Miles, they made it very
and
clear.
Defensively,
he wanted
really
to
good.
play with Hallie. Like, he was excited about that, and they decided to keep both of those guys.
As far as the Jeremy Grant one, I mean, we've heard the statements that he said that he wants to be like the option V guy. I tweeted, I think that if he buys in, he can be the best role player in the NBA in basketball if he buys into that role. But obviously, that's a risk as well because he's going to want money. He's going to want a higher role, so that might mess up the team chemistry. But I was really hoping that, we could have snagged Miles Turner. But, hey, if he wants to stay with Tyrese, hey, man, he's going to stay with him. Wish we could add him, though.
I'll try to make this quick, but there is a lot to unpack here.
Before you go,
right.
James Harden plans to wear the number 1 jersey for Philadelphia. Because 13 is retired by Wilt Chamberlain.
Riv hates
number
Wilt.
1, I like that.
So Harden is wearing number 1.
I like that a
That's
lot.
why I didn't buy a Harden jersey yet. I'm going to buy it, but not yet.
All right, so this is why there's a lot to unpack here.
We'll buy Ben Simmons jersey.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Because, look, Wilt, number 13 is retired. Number 3 is retired by AI. So, number 1, that's why he went with it. Because 1, 3, 1.
Yeah, he couldn't get AI.
Yeah, you def can't get
AI.
Even though he's better than him all the time, but you can't get him.
He's the Philly legend.
Yeah.
He is Philly.
Yeah, at least modern day Philly, without a doubt. So,
iconic.
I lean one side more than the other, but I'll talk about both really quick. Harden wanting out of Brooklyn leads me at least to believe KD's injury might be worse than what we're being led off to.
Oh, you're taking this approach.
I do believe something deeper down is going on with KD's injury that we're not hearing. In the All-Star game selection for the teams, they asked him a question, not once but twice. KD, can we get a timetable on your injury? His first response was a very abrupt no. His second time he was asked, he's like, there's no timetable. That's all I have. So
thanks,
I wonder if this injury is worse than what we're being told. It's Kevin Durant. He's had a history of injuries that linger. But last season, he had a hamstring injury, and he came back, and he was perfectly fine, where he had people believing he was the best player in the world. He was playing like the best player in the world at the time, without a doubt.
Believing. It's a fact.
He was playing very well, no doubt about it. He was playing absolutely amazing. Now, for the trade, I like Philly getting Harden. I believe you said it perfectly. I wish I would have went. I wish I would have went after JC. This is basically Seth Curry and Andre Drummond for James Harden. It really is.
Big upgrade.
They were never going to see Ben Simmons play in a Sixers uniform ever again. So essentially, right now, the Sixers are the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference, 2.5 games out of first place. And this is with Seth Curry, who is definitely not as good offensively as James Harden, does not supply the passing, facilitating abilities that James Harden possesses. And now you're plugging in a 24-point-per-game scorer who can get Joel Embiid involved in the offense more. And you gave up Seth Curry, who's a fantastic shooter, lacks defense, and Andre Drummond, who's your backup center. I love the package that the Nets got because the Nets needed certain pieces. Absolutely. They needed a big. They needed defense. They needed a shooter, especially with Joe Harris being out. In terms of what team got what they needed most, Nets, no doubt. But in terms of who got better, I look at it in the sense of you just got, when he's on, a top 5 player in the NBA in James Harden. He hasn't been top 5 this season. He's probably just outside the way that he's been playing in Brooklyn, outside the top 10, just outside. But we've seen it once where he was in a situation where he wasn't happy, comes to the Nets, and is playing James Harden basketball like he never left. It would not be out of the realm of possibility to see him come in night one. I'm sorry, JC. To see James Harden come in night one and he's electric. It would not surprise me. I look at it as if the Sixers understand their window is not creeping close soon. They understand that Joel Embiid is a big body dominant force and he has a bunch of miles on these knees that already have been proven to not be the most stable. They're trying to get James Harden while he's reaching also the end of his prime. And Joel Embiid, who is going to be in his prime for a little while, but he's 27 years old. And for a center, you get old rapidly, especially at that size, especially at that weight. They're making the most of this opportunity right now. You give up the picks. In my opinion, Philly has been very smart with their picks. They've been very cautious.
It'll be a late pick.
100% at the worst. For Philly, you're looking at it where we could potentially make it out the East.
Yep.
But at the worst for them, I see them being a second-round exit. At the worst. Maxi's been playing great basketball. I believe he'll start personally. You have to start Harden. I think they'll probably
Green will probably start.
Because he could shoot.
I think
I would start Thibault.
Oh, I would.
Me too. He's way better.
I feel you cannot sit Thibault with the way that he has stepped up the way that he has. That's what I believe personally. He has stepped up more so than anyone else on the team for what they were asked, I guess, outside of Joel Embiid, because he's tasked to be the guy. But that's nothing new than what he's been equating to. He's just been told to possess the ball a little bit more. Maxey, in terms of these other role players, he's been asked to do the absolute most out of all of them. So I don't want to say discredit, the opposite of reward, to basically slap him in the face and send him back to the bench unit just because you brought in Harden, I feel like that would be a little bit disrespectful. He's been playing great basketball for them. One of the main reasons why, outside of Joel Embiid, that they've had the success that they've had. I personally would start Maxey, start Harden. I'd probably start Danny Green, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid. Have Thibault come off the bench.
I keep forgetting they have Tobias Harris.
And yeah,
he's so mad.
Because let's be honest, Tobias is forgettable, but he is still an all-star caliber player.
No doubt.
Yeah, he hasn't made the all-star game, but he's an all-star caliber player. This is Harden and Embiid, two superstars, with an all-star in Tobias, and Maxey, who's very close to an all-star level. And he'll probably reach it in a year or two.
Definitely emerging.
I think Daryl Morey deserves a lot of credit for not making a panic move. He could have made a panic move and got Tyrese Halliburton or De'Aaron Fox or Harrison Barnes.
He could have made a panic move and literally folded on the fact that it lose Thibault in the deal or Tyrese Maxey. But the fact that he stood his ground, it was like, I'm not giving you none of them. It really showed like how much power he has.
You have to think of it like this. Do we want to give up our defense in Ben Simmons, Thibault, or do we want to give up a Seth Curry who will be made up by James Harden when he comes in. It's a perfect plug and play with that.
So mad.
Although I don't agree with what Harden did, I understand it. Kyrie and Kevin Durant are under no pressure to win the championship. Kevin Durant seems perfectly content where he is now. He doesn't care that he left Golden State, which could have been a potential dynasty for 3+ years or even more to come. He didn't care about any of that. Kevin Durant is fine with how his career is going to end up. Whether he wins anything else again, he's fine with it.
Good for him.
Kyrie Irving, the way he speaks, it sounds like he might retire in 2-3 years. He's fine with his career. He doesn't really care much about it, more accolades on top of his career. Harden is the only one that is really pressing for a chance to win a championship. And in Brooklyn, you made an excellent point. Kevin Durant's injury might be worse than expected. He feels like everyone's not as bought in. Steve Nash is clearly a worse coach than Doc Rivers, despite Doc Rivers' inept coaching at times. He's still one of the best coaches in the NBA, I believe. So I understand why Harden did it. Do I wish he would have gone about it a little bit differently? Yes. But we know in the NBA, this is what stars do to get their way. They play grimy.
But what's different from this situation as opposed to when he wanted to leave the Rockets?
What's different is that in Houston, he knew
built
he
a
had...
legacy.
No. In Houston, he knew he had absolutely no chance to win. That season, they had absolutely no chance to win anything that year.
I agree with what you're going to say.
And Harden knew that the entire year was basically him having to carry for them to be a first-round exit in the playoffs. In Brooklyn, it's different. You have Kyrie and KD.
Yeah.
Like, when you guys are all three on the floor together, the most unstoppable force offensively in basketball, the most talented trio we've ever seen, all of this
Without
other
a doubt.
hoopla stuff.
No doubt.
But I feel like Kyrie deserves some portion of this blame, though.
Absolutely
Him not
does.
being vaxxed. I feel like that kind of messed up Harden in the situation. It's like, I didn't sign up for this. Like, I thought we would be together.
Did you
or at
see
least two of us would be
Kyrie
together.
was saying that he was, there was a report, not Kyrie was saying, I don't want to do that to
There's a
him.
report.
There was a report saying that Kyrie Irving was eager.
He answered and put the puppets.
He responded to it and said, "Don't use my name."
Yeah, and
Good,
put
I'm
the
glad.
put the little
I'm
puppet
glad.
thing
I'm
on
glad.
top. Yeah, it was mad
I
funny.
really don't think there was any beef there. But then again, I don't think Harden is the most friendly with his teammates. I think Chris Paul
Say
is.
him. They had beef, Chris Paul and him.
Yeah, they did, and I think Chris Paul is one of the best leaders the NBA has ever seen. Him and Chris Paul, like Chris Paul went on JJ's podcast and was like, "My son's birthday was this past year. Harden didn't even say happy birthday to my son. Like, he didn't even call me, nothing like that. Like, so they don't have any type of relationship at all. They don't talk whatsoever. I just think that Harden, he's kind of in his own world sometimes. I don't think he has the best relationship with his teammates. Then again, it is their job, and their job is just to play basketball, so they don't have to be the best of friends. But I think if you do have that camaraderie on the team, it definitely helps you in making a playoff run.
Oh, for sure.
Like, you look at Milwaukee last year. I mean, I felt like everybody on that team, they're best friends.
For sure.
Like, they really love playing with each
Same
other.
thing with
They love
Phoenix.
being around each other.
It's because their leader is a personable individual. KD
Weirdo.
is not
the best
personable, in
leader,
my
bro.
opinion. He's been showing great strides of being a leader while he's been on the court, no doubt. In my opinion, this has been the most I've seen KD be a leader in his career. But now he's not on the floor, and it's hard to be a leader when you're not playing basketball night in, night out.
I disagree.
In what sense?
Chris Paul's still a leader when he doesn't play basketball.
But how so? Because I agree with that, but he's a point guard.
Oh, okay. LeBron.
Point guard mentality.
So you're saying somebody with a point guard mentality.
Like a Rajon Rondo.
I think it's more about personality.
Correct.
I just-
That's ultimately what I agree with.
I don't think
also.
Kevin Durant's his personality is not leader-esque. I mean, and I think it showed when he went to Golden State. Like, a leader doesn't do that.
But that's because he had Steph Curry to take that role.
No, I'm saying, but like a leader doesn't make that move
Oh, no
to
doubt.
go.
No doubt.
Once you got beat by your team, like no.
Definitely.
Like,
Yeah, you're
that
right.
is still one of the more BS moves we've ever seen in
One
NBA
of?
history.
That is the
No, that
Why
is the. That is
well,
the.
in my lifetime, it is the. It is the.
life. That is the
Like,
one.
come on now.
NBA life.
And you mentioned Steph. Steph's not the lead on Golden State. This is Draymond Green.
Now,
Nah, it's Draymond. It's definitely Draymond.
You think I'm wrong in that?
It's definitely Draymond, bro.
I
100%.
think defensively you can't look at
no,
it like
personality.
Draymond's the heartbeat that he makes that team go, bro.
I think,
Disagree.
listen. I think Draymond is it's like a 2-man thing. I think Draymond's more open about it,
more
but
vocal.
behind closed doors, I think Steph is the leader of the team. Like, I think even Draymond, if you watch the podcast, you know Draymond said it. Steph is kind of like the guy around there. Like he's the leader. But I think it's like
It's no like he is, though.
It's the duo.
I think this what it is. Obviously, we're not in the locker room, so we don't really know too much. I just think that Steph Curry is the one. He leads by example in the fact that he doesn't have an ego. He let KD come in and, do
Take
your
the
thing.
shine.
It doesn't matter. He has no ego. But Draymond is the one that's going to hold you accountable. Like, yo, why? Well, you have to be here.
Like he
You
did to
have
KD.
do
I
this.
think it's like if we had a team, right, and me and like I'm the leader. I'd be like Steph is like the one, like, yo, Drew, got to do this, that. And then Drew's like, all right, I'm going to go tell the team. Like, that type of thing. I think that's how they really maneuver. Like, Steph and Dre talk in private, and then Dre's like, all right, well, I know you're not going to go tell him, so I'm going to go tell him. It's kind of something like that. But I think they're both, in itself, I think Dre's more vocal about it, but they're both a leader in their own right.
I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, no, I mean, your boy is
Stop trying to discredit Draymond.
What?
We always do this on the
Stop
pod.
pushing this narrative that we're trying to discredit him.
Draymond's just the guy. man.
He is. He is.
Draymond's a guy.
It's funny how I defend him the most on this podcast, and he's the one who called
Clown me. Yeah, facts.
He's the one who called me out.
You used to hate him back in the day.
Nah, yeah.
I mean, I didn't used to like anyone on Golden State.
Yeah, because that was when Draymond was bugging, like kicking people in the balls and stuff.
He was walling for that.
Yeah, he was getting
balling
those
for that.
texts.
That's
And because
crazy.
I was a Houston fan, like, come on, bro. Like, my rivalry is with Golden State.
He was like PJ better than.
You was a Harden fan, and your rivalry
I am
was
still a
Steph
Houston
Curry.
fan, bro. What
No,
you
you're
talking about?
not.
Yes, I am.
Aren't you a Knicks fan?
I am a Knicks fan.
I'm
You're a Houston
confused.
fan now, so now you're back.
Nah, bro. I've
Now
always
you're a
liked the
Philly fan.
Rockets. Nah, I'm not a Philly fan.
You could like the Rockets, but you're not a Houston fan.
It's all right. This is what's gonna happen. They're gonna start to win some games. Let's go Philly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't deny it.
real.
I'm gonna buy a Harden jersey. I'm definitely gonna go to a Philly game. We live close by Philadelphia in the arena. It's
Wells
like
Fargo is fire.
2 hours
Been there?
away.
Yeah, I went to see
Damn, I
LeBron
wanna-
pass Kobe. The day before Kobe Bryant passed
So
away.
you saw Kobe in the arena too?
He was not there.
Thought they dapped.
No, I think that was in LA. He
That-
went in Philly.
Oh. Damn, I kind of want to go to a Philly game. I'm gonna rock a Ben Simmons jersey though.
I'll be.
I'm 100% buy one.
Simo?
That's
I
a
hope
fact.
Harden plays the day I seen him. I'll see him at the beginning of March.
You going to Chicago?
No, I'm going to Philly because we go play in. Philly.
Very lit. Very lit.
From my school, I'm actually going to a Nets game. It's the Nets versus Heat, and 2 hours before the game starts, we're gonna get the chance to play on the court and shoot around and stuff.
Harden played.
You're gonna airball like the
you.
first 3 times, bro. I swear to God. The hoop is like you're gonna realize you're like, damn. This
If my arms are as sore as they are now, I probably will.
mad
Harden
far.
played you.
I was talking to Jack because we're going together, and I was like, bro, I hope Harden doesn't get traded because I want to see him. Like, because they said on the trip that we might be able to see some players, and I was like, man,
Bro, gonna see the Bruce Brown.
I'm gonna see like, for real. I'm gonna see Patty Mills and Bruce Brown.
like-
I wouldn't mind Patty Mills. I'm gonna be honest.
No, you're gonna see Bruce Brown, bro, out there early.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind Blake. I think Blake is a fun dude.
you'll probably see Blake.
Yeah.
You see the whack guys out
He's
there.
a better
early.
comedian nowadays than a basketball player.
Shooting his shots. If
Have Blake come on the
if
pod.
Bremby was still on the team, you see
After I just
Bremby out
violated
there.
him, it's a shame.
That's crazy. That's tough though.
I might take a flight to Chicago probably next week, and if I do, I'm going to the Kings and Bulls games for sure.
We're gonna smoke them out.
I'm definitely going to that game.
Kings are new,
You wanna
bro.
watch the
100%.
bonus?
Kings
Huh?
are new.
I'm gonna watch the bonus.
I don't care. We're gonna smoke them out. Trash bags. Kings.
One of the bigger moves that happened, not the Kings, but it's actually the Pelicans. They traded for CJ McCollum. The
Trash,
Pelicans got
Nah, stop.
CJ McCollum, Larry Nance, Tony Snell, and the Blazers got Josh Hart, Nikhil Alexander-Walker, which they traded to Utah for Joe Ingles and Elijah Hughes. And they also got a first-round pick, which is protected from picks 5 to 14. But given the Cavs probably won't be in the lottery, this is going to be the Blazers pick and 2 second-rounders. I love this move. I really do. I like that the Pelicans are not trying to go into full rebuild, young mode, acquiring assets. No, get yourself an established veteran player. CJ McCollum, when this team is fully healthy, is the 3rd best player on this team. CJ, as your 3rd best player, that team's pretty damn good. Zion, Brandon Ingram. Ingram has really improved as a passer this year,
Valanciunas.
averaging 5 assists. Valanciunas is amazing. I disrespected Ingram. When we talked last week about our all-star snubs and who should be in the game,
Disrespect.
Brandon Ingram should be in the all-star game. I think he should have taken DeJounte Murray's place. The fact that DeJounte Murray got in, despite the Spurs being one of the worst teams in the NBA, I think was ridiculous. B.I. should have got in over him. And this team is, I like it. You know, with Zion not here, Devontae Graham, CJ Ingram, Herb Jones, who I'm a huge fan of, and Jonas Valanciunas. Jose Alvarado's been playing better. I know that I told Riv all about him out of college. He wasn't too sure. Yo, bro, he went to Virginia Tech.
He went to Georgia Tech.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant to say. Georgia Tech.
I love Joel's confidence. I love it.
It was something Tech. I knew it was that. It was Georgia Tech.
Yeah, Georgia Tech.
Jose Alvarado and Jackson Hayes over his last 4 games has been averaging 16 points and 8 rebounds. He's been coming into his own. I told you guys before the season, Pelicans were my surprise team. But because Zion got hurt, obviously that all went down the drain. But I think Willie Green is a damn good coach. And I think the slow start to the season to then coming back all the way to be in the play-in spot, they're in the 10th seed right now, is flat out an amazing job. And I didn't even mention Larry Nance Jr., who now, when healthy, you're looking at a roster with CJ, with Zion, Ingram, Herb Jones, Jonas off the bench. You have I'm blanking on the name right now. You have Jackson Hayes with Jose Alvarado and Devontae Graham and Larry Nance Jr. I mean, this isn't a bad team. It's a good team.
I think Larry Nance Jr. actually just had surgery, though.
He did, but he's going to return this season.
All right, solid.
Yeah.
Solid. I'll go, no doubt. I do like this move. I love this move, especially if Zion comes back, because then we really could talk about them making this play-in push. I would love to see a lineup of CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, Valanciunas. Who's that? Who would be that's 5 for me?
Valanciunas is the 5.
No. I'm saying the 3 for me because that's 4 guys.
Herb Jones.
I guess Herb Jones could be that.
He's starting now.
Okay, that's very.
He mentioned Brandon Ingram.
I said BI already.
So
CJ,
Graham,
BI, Herb,
CJ, BI,
Zion, and Valanciunas.
Herb Jones. You said if healthy?
That's what I'm saying. If
Devontae Graham's coming off the bench.
For sure.
So CJ's playing the 1.
Yeah. I don't see why not.
I think the issue with the Trailblazers was that Dame and CJ's game were very similar. And where both were very good offensively, defensively didn't have it. That is a fear of mine with the Pelicans also, that their defense is still not the best. However, this offense is legit. And if you're going to lack at one, you need to be stellar in the other end. When Zion comes back, that's 27 points per game. You have Brandon Ingram averaging around 23 points per game. CJ McCollum is more than capable of averaging 20-plus a game.
Jose Alvarado has 17 points right now in 17 minutes.
Really?
Yes, I could shoot.
Okay, he's eating. Facts.
That video
That video was lit. I do like the move. However, it is indicative of Zion coming back. I want to see Zion come back before I really start to believe that the Pelicans could be a lock for this play-in push. Right now, I still see them as a team back of the West. I don't expect anything of them come play-in time. However, Zion comes back and things start rolling, I'll be interested.
First of all, you threw jabs at my boy DeJounte Murray. So I had to look up.
What I say?
No. I had to look up a few things. You said the Spurs are one of the worst teams in the league. You said that. They have 2 less wins than the Pelicans. It's not a far-off thing. The Pelicans have 22 wins. The Pelicans have 22 wins. The Spurs have 20.
They have a bottom 6 record in the NBA.
Yeah. Then you tried to say B.I. deserved the spot over him. I looked up the numbers real quick. B.I. averages 23 points. DeJounte averages 20. Right. DeJounte averages 9 assists. B.I. averages 5. DeJounte averages 8 rebounds. B.I. averages 5. DeJounte averages 2 steals. B.I. doesn't average 1. They both average 0.5 blocks. So where on earth do you think B.I. deserves? And then we can go to offensive rating. When he's on the court, DeJounte Murray has an offensive rating of 111, a defensive rating of 107. When B.I. is on the court, he has an offensive rating of 109, Mr. Offense, and a defensive rating of 114, which isn't good. So let me ask you, why did you think B.I. deserved an all-star nod over DeJounte Murray?
It's preference.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's how you get somebody. That was ridiculous.
Well, you prepared for that.
No, I didn't.
It was a quick 2 seconds.
It was quick. I didn't like how you just.
You didn't even mention the efficiency though.
Oh, you wanted me to do that?
DeJounte's efficiency has not been the best.
Both of them from the field goal percentage, 45.
Yep.
3-point percentage, B.I.'s at 34, DeJounte's at 31. It's nothing.
He's better than.
Oh, yeah. Free throw percentage, B.I.'s at 82, DeJounte's at 74. I can't
Can't even
really
shoot
say
free
too
throws.
much.
Come on, he's gonna be in the All-Star game. Give me a break.
Word.
Come on, Joel.
No, he is on. Bro, he is on one of the worst teams in the NBA though.
It's two. They have 2 less wins in the
That's because the
Pelicans.
Pelicans started off horrible, but they've been way
They were
better.
five. They were 5
They're on
and
a
10 in
4-game.
January.
They're on a 4-game win streak right now. Pelicans.
They were 5 and 10 in
They're on a
January.
4-game.
They're gonna lose right now. They're playing Miami.
Onto the trade because I had to do that real quick because I didn't like the disrespect.
He made me speed up my analysis. for
Edwards
that,
should have
so.
been over him at least though.
At least he's winning, so it's respectable. This was a good trade though. I ain't gonna lie. This was something like for Zion. This team has a limit because of Zion's health. Like everything is really predicated on if Zion's going to be healthy. But all it's looking like if Zion is healthy, this looks like a team that can definitely make some noise in the play-in or in the playoffs at the 7th or 8th seed. Right now, this team is battling. They're in the 10th seed right now. I don't think they'll make I don't think they'll beat any of the teams up in front of them.
Can they beat the Lakers
No,
in the play-in
I don't think so.
if they get Zion?
That's why it's such a limit on this team, but still no. But that's why there's such a limit on this team. Like, is Zion gonna play? When is Zion gonna play? Is he healthy?
He might not
How
come
long
back,
is he
bro. His
gonna be
injury's
healthy?
really that bad.
So it's like it's really this team. CJ was a good move because you get somebody who can help Brandon Ingram on the
bucket.
offensive end. He can score. CJ can put up buckets. He can shoot the ball. He wasn't looking too right because he was injured, but now in a new environment, he can definitely create. You still got Devontae Graham. You still got Herb Jones, who's an elite defender as a rookie. You know what I'm saying? So you still got these pieces, Jonas Valanciunas, who can give you that inside presence. It's just Zion, man. Like, can he stay healthy for this team to fully put it together and make a run? You know what I'm saying? So it's really this team, like this move is a good move, but everything really just predicates on Zion's health. Can he stay healthy? No, they cannot beat the Lakers. That's like mad disrespectful to LeBron. Like, no, they cannot beat the Lakers.
No, I'm serious though about
I
that.
know you are, but like, come on, bro. Like,
Bro, Zion, B.I.,
LeBron, AD.
Zion, B.I., C.J., A.D., LeBron, Westbrook, Valanciunas. Come on, bro.
Why didn't you mention Malik Monk?
Oh, Malik Monk.
I'm serious.
Wait, that's your man.
Malik Monk?
Yeah, that's your man. You was
Why
big
do
on
you say
him.
that?
You was big on him.
No,
Out of the draft?
Cap-
No, we're talking about like something like
Nah,
that.
you was big
I
on
was
him.
gonna say before the
Stop
season
it, bro. You was
started,
big on him.
y'all were slandering Malik Monk.
No, we weren't. We just like, that's your main guy you got in free agency.
God bless him.
No, we
He's
just was
been
like,
amazing.
that's your third guy. It's not.
It's one of like the 2 positives of the Lakers right now.
Bro, the Lakers just lost to the Blazers with AD healthy.
Westbrook
With
can't be
AD there.
scapegoated that game.
You know what? He's not lying.
Why can't the Pelicans beat them in the play-in?
Because
Why
playoff
can
times is different,
Zion
bro.
cancels out LeBron.
What?
Yo, you about to have a heart attack, yo. You about to have a heart
No, but he was serious for like a split second. Oh, nah.
That was funny. That was a good one.
I don't know. Like, this is like, because if they don't make the playoffs, right? What's the next move for them?
Got to get Zion healthy for next year and give it a run.
Man, they had Drew
Well,
Holiday,
a play-in
Lonzo Ball.
is a step in the right direction for them.
Yeah.
Like I said,
I mean, not necessarily, though. Is it
Yeah,
really?
they didn't
Without
make the play-in
Zion?
last
Because
year.
if you don't win the play-in, you
but
are not a playoff
But I'm
team.
saying if they
No,
make
but
the
they-
play-in without Zion, that's pretty
Weren't they
good.
close to the play-in last year?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't make it though.
I mean, I guess, all right.
So
yeah,
that's a step
yeah.
in the right direction.
You're right. You're right. That's a step in the right direction.
I mean, I think the trade's pretty solid. I mean, as far as them getting into playing this year, I'm kind of skeptical on that. I mean, I looked them up, their team rankings up because I don't watch Pelicans games. I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you.
Man, I made a huge mistake.
What happened?
The first round pick that the Blazers got, it's protected from
Top 4, right?
picks 5 to 14. I don't know why, but I had the Cavaliers in my head. That pick is staying with the Pelicans virtually. If it's not a top 4 pick, it doesn't transfer over.
Yeah.
So basically, the Pelicans still have the first round pick.
so as long as they play good basketball.
You
Decent
sure it's
basketball.
not 1 through 4?
No, it's protected 5 to 14. It's a little weird in that way. So if the Pelicans make the play-in and they are a lottery team, they still keep their pick.
I understand what you mean.
And
So-
you're adding that to CJ, Ingram, Valanciunas, Zion.
They'll probably pick a point guard.
They need one.
I mean, he brought in McCollum. Let's
He's
see what he
not a
can do.
one.
Let's see what he can do.
He's
at
a
the one.
solid playmaker, but he's not really a floor
We
general.
haven't been able to see that because of Dame. Let's see what
No,
he can do.
no, bro. He's 30.
No, I understand.
No, he's
Now,
not-
a solid playmaker.
Dame
he's
is
nothing
around the
crazy,
same
though.
age as him.
No, but he's
No,
not
we've
a
seen
point
it.
guard.
It's not like Dame and
No,
CJ
but-
didn't take turns.
CJ the score first guy.
CJ's
His
a scoring
mindset.
guard. Yeah.
I mean,
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, my only
We
question
saw
mark
DeMar
with this team,
DeRozan's game evolve late into his career.
Don't compare them.
Again, I
Two different
understand.
No, like you
situations.
literally can't compare them.
and DeMar's actually a
Why
better
can't
playmaker
I?
than
Because
But
CJ.
look,
CJ has
DeMar's
never
still
made
not
the
even
All-Star
one,
team.
though.
CJ, you're saying like CJ is like trash though.
No, he's not. I'm not saying that.
That's
But
like
you
I
can't
understand
compare
DeMar
them, bro.
DeRozan's a go right now. But
No,
like,
you couldn't even before this year. You couldn't really
DeMar
compare
DeRozan's
them.
really
bro.
always
saying-
been better.
Yeah, like he's
no, for
always
sure.
been.
He
like,
has been. That you're just completely overlooking my
Look,
point.
I just think CJ has a play style that has already been incorporated in the game for so long that I don't think
DeMar
just,
DeRozan was similar. That's
No,
exactly my
he
point.
wasn't similar, bro.
Where
DeMar had
his
a
offense was very
DeMar had a
quick.
season similar to this in Toronto where he averaged 28. Same.
No, I'm not saying the points. I'm saying facilitating.
Oh, and in San Antonio,
DeMar's
his facilitating
a far
went up.
superior
Oh, definitely.
playmaker than CJ.
Yes, he is. My point being, it took him a little while into his career to do that.
Okay.
Damn.
He's 30.
Oh my
All right,
god.
I'm sorry. You know what? You're right. I'll just give you the. Okay, I got you. My fault.
we
It
just
could
don't
happen.
think CJ's gonna be
And
that.
I get it. I understand.
You
but
think
that's my
you
point.
think they'll make the play?
Like a 10
playoffs. You
No,
think
no.
they'll get
I
in the
think
playoffs?
playoffs. No.
So
I
have
said no.
They have no.
I mean,
chance.
I'm out on them making the
'Cause
playoffs.
we got who's in there right now? Obviously,
They're not making it over
Clippers,
Minnesota.
Lakers, Minnesota.
can they beat the Clippers with nobody right now?
I still think that game's a kind of a toss-up.
That's a
but
good game.
They can beat the.
They can beat them. They can beat them. They
That's
can
what
beat
I'm
them.
asking.
It's a
Like,
good
you
game.
thought I
They
was
beat
saying
them.
no.
No,
that's
no,
what I'm
I
asking.
had to think about it. Yeah, they can beat.
I mean,
they-
yeah, just because
I
they're so
think-
top heavy compared to the Clippers right now without their players.
I'm taking the Timberwolves and the Lakers to make it out of the play on as it
That's
stands
fair.
right now.
Thing
That's
is,
fair, me
Zion,
too.
I'm taking them over the Lakers. That's just what I'm gonna say.
Yo,
They will beat them in the play. I really think there's a chance the Lakers don't make the playoffs, bro.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy.
I had one of the worst days in my
Oh
sports
my
life.
God.
You're gonna go and say this
There's still the
garbage to
buyout
me?
market. You don't know.
I know. I hope we get Goran Dragic.
bro, stop.
He's going to Dallas.
No,
Stop.
but I saw that. But they're
He
thinking
might not
about
go
Cook
to
now,
Dallas,
though.
That's what I'm saying. They're talking about buying him out already.
No, he's gonna. He's gonna get bought out. But
But he's not going.
Yo,
to.
Westbrook's
I
a
don't know
free
what he's
agent
gonna
next
do.
year?
No,
No?
he's a player option. He's accepted.
They have two. You guys have two first-round picks, though, right?
2027.
No, but they have two picks, though, right? Because I was reading an article for the Lakers that they could
Yeah,
put those two
2027,
picks and a
2020.
Westbrook,
No,
trade
ne-
them.
next year, 2027, 2029.
You got to get them off your team, bro. I'm
The
sorry.
Lakers really traded that number
the
4
Lakers
pick,
just
which
have to
was
trade
Garland.
LeBron and send him somewhere he could win.
We should
Pretty
have
much,
sent
Joe.
him to
Don't send them to
Philly.
Cleveland.
I'm sick.
I mean, I'm with you guys. I mean, defensively, this team sucks. I mean, they're the 26th ranked defense
the
in the
defense,
NBA.
they're
I mean,
bad.
Yeah, CJ's not gonna help
but they
that.
exactly they acquired CJ McCollum. This defense is going to be horrible. Even when Zion Williamson comes back, he's been a really bad defender too. Obviously, Zion is so talented on the offensive side of the ball that he's going to put them over the top. And I would think I would lock them in the playoffs if they could get Zion Williamson, CJ, Brandon Ingram, Jonas Valanciunas, if they could all have that continuity at the start of the season. I don't know if Zion's going to come back, but I pretty much agree with all of you. Just out of respect for LeBron, you're crazy. I'm going to always pick LeBron to win the series.
Thank
And I'm going to
Thank
pick
you.
Minnesota.
One game. It's just not. It's just one game, not a series.
Then I want
Yeah,
LeBron.
we saw what happened last year against Golden State, right?
Almost
You
lost.
made a damn stupid shot.
I ain't gonna
Also,
lie. You can't really
Zion
hate, bro. It was a
sounds
clutch
like
shot, though.
you're
but it's
mad.
like-
It's clutch, though. It's
Sounds
clutch.
like
'Cause you brought
you're
us up for
mad.
no reason.
What do you mean? It was
It's
just saying
literally
because
no
you
reason.
won
You
the
said
game.
one
Zion,
game.
Zion's gonna be the point guard when he comes back. Point Zion.
Nah, Zion's a good passer, bro.
I like that. I like that a
Bro,
lot.
if you're out on
actually.
Zion as a
Point
playmaker,
Zion is different.
Zion's a good playmaker, bro.
He had a
I'm
historic
trying to
season
figure
doing
out
that
how
last
he
year.
when he gonna play defense.
His defense is
Forget
horrible.
all like
You
you
gonna
guys
figure it out.
You guys love offense. I'm trying to figure out when they going to dig in on that defensive end. That's what I'm trying to figure
So you
out.
don't think
matter.
Zion
He will
makes
still
him a
give
lock?
Zach LaVine 50.
Makes what a lock.
You don't think them getting Zion
They can
at the
lose
start
to-
of the
they can
season?
lose to every
no,
team in the
We're talking
playoffs.
about. I mean, obviously this season I'm out on them but I'm talking
Oh,
about next season.
A
You don't-
lock.
for the playoffs. I think so.
Wait, hold on.
With CJ, Brandon Ingram, Jonas Valanciunas, and Zion.
Wait, just for a minute.
You're disrespectful,
Wait for a
bro.
minute. Can you just let me talk?
Go ahead, bro.
For a minute. Okay.
Hurry up.
There's 10 teams. They're the 10th seed. Look, they're the 10th seed, right? Minnesota's better than them, right?
With Zion.
Yes. Denver gets their guys back. Clippers get their
Dude, you're
guys back.
sleeping on Zion,
no,
bro.
listen.
Yo,
that's two more teams.
can't-
They're
Clippers
already
get-
ahead of him, though.
That's what I'm saying. Clippers are a playing team right now. They get their guys back. They go into a lock. That's already 7 teams already. I don't know. I really don't know.
But
I
who's in
can't-
the playoffs right now? Like right now at this very moment.
Or you have the
Warriors,
Suns. You have the-
Suns, Memphis,
Show me
Utah,
this.
Dallas, Denver. Damn, I did that good.
Yeah, you're right. That was
Clippers,
literally in the row.
Clippers, Minnesota.
Other way around.
No, those are the teams.
Minnesota
Those are 8
Clippers.
teams. Yeah, those are the
Put some
8 teams.
respect on Minnesota,
Sorry.
bro.
That's
why I
8.
did
That's
that.
8 teams right there, bro.
I think they could battle with Minnesota, bro. If they get Zion.
Oh, okay. All right. And there you
I
go.
do.
That's you got to
I
talk
mean, I
to him
think
about
Zion,
that.
no, but I think Zion is that good, bro.
No, he is that.
I
good.
do
No,
think
he-
Zion, bro. He's averaged
You talk
27,
about,
8, and 6.
defense. He will still give DeMar DeRozan 50.
Okay.
You'll violate.
How many would DeMar give him?
Not more than 50. He
DeMar
only
been
takes twos.
tweaking. He has been
guy's insane.
tweaking.
I mean, like the team on paper offensively, we know that we know this. I think this has potential to be a top 10 offense in the NBA with Zion back. Like I think they're going to be that good on offense.
I mean, last year when he was running the point, they were one of the best already. Like they were top 5.
I mean, look, the trade. It all depends on CJ McCollum.
I feel like they get a point guard, we could really have a discussion. No funny. They get like a legit playmaker, we could really have a discussion.
Scoot Henderson.
Wait, when's Rubio going to be a free agent?
This offseason.
I would give him if I was a Pelicans, I'd probably give him a contract.
That's a good one right there.
So what? Rubio, CJ, Ingram, Zion, Valanciunas.
That's a good ass team.
They'll be fighting right there with Minnesota for that 8th spot, boy.
Devontae Graham and Herb Jones.
But I don't know. You never know. I mean, I'm not saying it's possible, but there could be another Brandon Ingram getting better, Zion Williamson coming and getting better, and those guys taking that leap.
Me personally, I don't really see.
I mean, you think Brandon Ingram is what he is?
Devontae Graham could start at the point, CJ at the 2.
Yuck.
I don't like that.
I don't like Devontae at the 1.
Devontae Graham just takes threes.
Yeah, Devontae.
No,
Graham
but he facilitates
his size. Because his size.
No, but he's a decent passer.
He likes to take shots. He's a shooter.
But what's wrong? But it's an offense. Why
I like
not?
him off the bench.
You want to know why? It's because
offensive team. Excuse me.
It's because they have 4 offensive players better than him offensively.
For sure.
So Ricky Rubio, he can put everybody in their sets, and he's not gonna take away shots from these guys. He's gonna make stuff easier. Devontae's more like a bench scorer to me, as like a
he's
like
a
six
Jordan
man.
Clarkson. You come him in, spark plug.
Yeah, he's a good scorer. Very
Kobe
good.
White, yeah.
Very good scorer.
I take buckets.
Try to violate. He said Kobe White, and you
Kobe
just let
White's
that go.
nice because he's nice. I ain't acknowledge
But
it.
you weren't big on him.
As a starter.
No, you were never big on him.
As a starter.
You were dumb tight
You're
when you
lying,
drafted him.
bro. You
You were dumb tight when y'all
White.
drafted him.
Yeah, because I didn't want him to be our starting point guard. What's wrong with y'all? Like, why y'all be trying to get me and it don't work? Like,
Damn, yo, imagine if they would have kept Lonzo with this team.
yeah,
Would have been sick.
I don't think they would be able to get CJ then.
Yeah, like
They
when
had
he was
Drew
on-
too.
When he was on the Hornets, he averaged 7.5 assists. Like he's more than capable of.
Yeah, he's
Can you
not a-
name
the
4
offense.
offensive players on that team from that team?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
I'm not gonna hold you. I'm blanking right now too on that team.
Well, exactly.
Rozier.
That speaks volumes. No, he wasn't. Not yet. That speaks volumes.
It does.
He was that guy that season.
Exactly.
Also. Well, what though?
Exactly. Like,
He was good. He fell off. It's
That's
unfortunate.
No, he didn't
not
fall
that
off.
he fall off.
His
It's that-
role just got
it's just that
diminished.
he went from being the primary ball handler to having a reduced role.
Again, but if you're just asking him to facilitate, like he has the
Will
capabilities.
he be comfortable with that?
I mean, he's seen over these last couple of seasons where his offensive role has diminished.
Well, he's reverted to the bench.
I just really don't think he's a point guard, bro. Like
I just think
Terry
he's a
Rozier
great
was on that
bench
team,
scorer.
bro. What are you talking about?
I didn't say you were
That
wrong.
was me.
You try to look
It was
at me.
Rozier, Bridges, Washington, Zeller, Monk,
Oh
Bismack,
my
Biyombo,
God.
Marvin Williams.
That team
2019?
stinks.
He led their team
No,
in
that
scoring
was
with 18 a game.
20. They won 23 games. That's point Devontae Graham. 23 games.
I mean, the Hornets were trash.
Yo, you know what's crazy, Drew? Yo, he really doesn't take any shot other than a 3-point shot. Like that's literally all he takes. His 3-point shot and his field goal percentage are always hand in hand.
They are pretty similar.
Yes.
Yo, it's crazy as hell. 38 from the field, 37 from 3, 37 from the field, 37
Marcus
from 3,
Thornton.
36 from the field, 35.
He's Marcus Thornton, bro.
Bros.
Now we stop.
When is Zion coming back? All jokes aside.
I don't know. I don't know if he's coming
None
back
of
this
us
season.
know.
We got to manifest April.
Why do we have to manifest
Because we
anything?
want him back.
Come on, bro.
What's
I
wrong
like
with
watching
you?
Zion play.
We need to. I'm manifesting my own team problems. I'm not
All
worried
right,
about
next
the Pelicans,
topic.
bro.
This guy sucks.
All right.
On the other side of this deal were the Blazers. Now, the Blazers at first, it felt like they were going into full rebuild mode, just gathering assets. They traded Norman Powell, Covington to the Clippers, CJ and Nance to the Pelicans. And now the starting lineup, as of recently, has been Anthony Simons, Ben McLemore, Josh Hart when he gets in there, Justice Winslow, Nurkic. Justice Winslow had a good game the other day. I told you, there's still something
Rocco
there.
had a good game. You didn't say a word.
Rocco or Norman Powell?
Not
No,
too
Rocco.
long.
Norman Powell had 28.
Rocco had 12, 3 for 6 from the 3-point line.
Norman
6
Powell had
rebounds,
28, bro.
Why would I
But I'm
acknowledge
saying
that? I know
his
he's good.
performance out, like
But he's-
nobody cares about Rocco's
No, but we
Chill,
know-
chill.
wait.
But the whole point was
Yeah,
that Rocco, y'all were down
we
on
knew
him.
Powell would
Both
be
of
nice.
y'all.
Wait. I was down on him defensively. I mean, he could hit a couple threes. I'm not out on him as a 3-point
No,
shooter.
he said no. Remember, he tried to say I don't think Rocco's that good. He's not going to do anything anymore.
I mean, bro,
Yeah.
that's 12 points. Like we really
As
hyped
a
over
role
12 points,
player,
bro.
as a role player,
What?
come
But, like,
on,
come
we
on,
can't
you-
diminish-
come
Like,
on,
they got
bro.
blown out.
JC, he's a role player.
Bro,
He's doing
Norman,
his
I don't
role.
care. Norman Powell had 28, bro.
Okay, but
What
he's the
does-
big part of the
what?
deal. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
We know what
We
Norman
care
Powell
about
is.
Norman Powell.
Okay,
Just
let's talk
recently
about
we were
the
talking about
Blazers.
getting rid of Rocco.
CJ Ellaby started too, and it looks like the Blazers were going into full rebuild, but they're actually making these moves to build a contender around Dame. They freed up $60+ million in cap space. They also have a $21 million trade exception. So they have cap for a star player. They have a trade exception to get another really good player. Riv, what do you think about them trying to run it back with Dame?
Well, I commend them, I guess.
I like that.
I don't know. Like, it's weird. They failed Dame the first time. Dame stayed. Dame said, we're not ready yet. Portland made it clear they want to build a championship around Dame. Then they went out and got a bunch of bums. Cody Zeller, Tony Snell. No offense to these guys. You made it to the NBA, but you're not good anymore. And then on top of that, you make these trades. Now you're going into a rebuild. You build up all this cap. Now you have all this cap. But realistically, who are you going to lure? Thank you. Who are you going to lure to Portland? Who wants to go to Portland?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand Dame. Dame is an attractive player to play with, but Portland has never been that type of destination. Like, from my understanding, when they got Norman Powell in the trade, Wesley Matthews, Nicholas Batum, like, when they got those guys, was either in the draft or in the trade. CJ McCollum was drafted. Aldridge was drafted. Dame was drafted. Like, this was all in the draft. So, like, my thing is Portland has steadily built a contender in the West through the draft or trades. They've never really been a big-time free agent destination. So what makes you think this is going to be any different? Are you going to play Dame and Anthony Simmons in the backcourt together?
Simons.
Thank you. Simons. Is this going to be another Dame and CJ type of thing? Like, what's going to happen with that? What are you going to do with Nurkic? Like, are you going to keep him or are you going to pay him? You have to pay him too. Nasir Little, what's going on with him? What are you going to do? Like, it's so much. There's still a lot of youth on the team. Yet you're still trying to maintain that hold that Dame. You can build this team around Dame, and it's just like Portland isn't the spot for that. I think Dame has become bigger than Portland at this point. I think the time to move him is probably going to be in the offseason, and hopefully he realizes it, that they just can't build the championship around him, because I don't think anybody's going to want to go to Portland. And even if they do, who's going to go there? Bradley Beal? Like, I don't think that's somebody that's going to really put them in championship
CJ 2.0.
windows. Like, yeah, I don't think that's somebody that's going to make them a championship team. You still have other holes to fill. So I think at this point, like, I like the idea at first, but I think you should just kind of build cap space for your young team and try to build around them instead of trying to build around Dame. I think it's a little bit too late for that.
Commendable, was an excellent word, because Dame has been extremely loyal to the Blazers, and he has been more than vocal of saying that he wants to keep running it back with the Blazers. He wants to get it done with Portland, and I respect him for that. But this lineup is not looking good, not by any means. If they're going to try and make it work to try and bring in a star player, I don't mind Simons being that sixth man off the bench. His offense is legit. He is a damn good scorer. We've seen over these last stretch of games since he's taken over for Dame. He is like that. He has the ratchet on him. He really can facilitate the ball very well. His defense is not there. He is an offensive type player. That's more Jordan Clarkson in my opinion. Like, he really has those type of capabilities. I really think he's that type of ball player. Bringing in a guy to play with Dame, especially in Portland, is going to be tough. I agree. Bradley Beal, I don't think is the answer for Portland specifically. They need more defensive-minded individuals. Bringing in Josh Hart, I don't mind. He's a type of all-around type of individual, but there's nothing he truly excels at. You want him to just be that Swiss Army knife for you at this point. Plug him in at the 2 or the 3.
Even a 4.
Something along those lines. And Nurkic is a pretty good ball player. He's been pretty consistent for when he's actually on the court. It's just an issue of whether he can actually stay healthy. I don't love where Portland's headed. I'm going to be very consistent. I want them to move Dame, whether it be now it has to be the offseason given the fact that trade deadline was today. What can you really do with this roster? You have all this free money. Who really is going to come and play for Portland? If you're going to throw them the egregious bag, maybe they'll come and run it with Dame, but at this point, I don't see it happening. I think Dame and the Blazers need to come to an agreement to say, listen, I want you, the Blazers organization, to at least benefit from me a little bit. Trade me, get some picks for my value, get some youth for my value. Don't let it get to the point where I'm a free agent and I'm walking for nothing. You have to capitalize.
All right. Well, it's like that weird silence. It's like we look at each other and it's like, sometimes he go.
So
I better say that. So, I'm gonna take a different approach to this. Look, we all know I'm not the biggest supporter of Dame. We know
Really? Yeah, you're a Dame hater.
Yeah, in a little bit. Yeah. But I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm gonna get into that, but I'm gonna take a little high route. I kind of feel bad for Damian Lillard, and obviously he's given his all to the city. He was drafted there, developed there, and all that. It sucks because in the time where he was coming up, the West was always tough. You had obviously the Golden State Warriors. You had the Houston Rockets who were a step ahead of them. You had just a bunch of teams that were standing in their way of winning a championship. And it sucks now because Damian Lillard is coming off surgery and he's not getting any younger. He's 32 years old. So I'm with you. I'm with the mindset of you guys. I never felt Dame could be the best player on a championship team, to be honest with you, to be quite honest with you guys. I felt that way, that he could never be the best.
That is so rude.
I never felt that way, and I still feel that way. I don't think that he can be the best player on a championship. I think he's a Robin.
No, it's rude.
History shows me that it's kind of true, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. The West was tough.
I agree with you. How many point guards
West was tough,
can
though.
really be the Batman?
It's tough.
We saw AI do it. I don't understand. Like
AI never won a ring.
Not really
he
a point
went
guard,
to the finals.
No, but he's a shooting guard.
He's not a point guard.
All right. I understand. But he's really he's that hybrid of a point.
He's the size of a point guard. But then what River said is facts. I mean, Portland. Nobody wants to go to play in Portland, bro. This is a franchise that builds through the draft. I was looking at the free agency list, and just right now, I mean, the top free agents: John Wall, no,
Tough.
Russell Westbrook. We don't have to say anything about him. Bradley Beal. We already said what we had to say about Bradley Beal. The most intriguing prospect in this free agency class, and I know he's not going to leave the situation in Chicago, is Zach LaVine. But then again, that's going to be another CJ 2.0. Obviously, he's better than CJ McCollum. Dame needs a wing. And I think Portland is going backwards. I mean, you already got rid of CJ. You already got rid of Norm and Robert Covington. Proven guys that you thought were proven and proven players to help build a championship there, even though we know that was really never going to happen. And I just think they're going backwards now. I mean, you got Dame, obviously Nurkic is still there. I was of the assumption that they were going to trade both of them and get as much picks and players as they can to complete a full-on rebuild. I think that this whole Damian Lillard fiasco with Portland, I think it's really just played out. Like, he's getting older. We've seen this year, I don't know if it was because of the injury, probably was, but we've seen a regression in his play this year. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because I've never seen Dame like that. He was dealing with an abdominal injury, and it was so bad to the point where he had to end up getting that surgery. But if I'm Portland, I mean, I get you guys are trying to cater to Damian Lillard because he's given so much to this franchise. He's been the common denominator and the success that you guys have had with that franchise. But he's getting older. You have an emerging guard in Anthony Simons. And you have Dame and Nurkic who, I feel like those two guys are better for teams that are trying to win now. Portland's going backwards. You're freeing up all this cap. You're showing Dame that, you want him to stay. But then again, realistically, this free agency class isn't that deep. And who's going to really want to leave their situation or choose Portland over other better situations? It's just not going to happen. Like we said, we already established Portland's built this team through the draft. So I'm of the mindset, and I'll say it again, I don't think Dame could be the best player on the championship team. I think he's getting older. I think Portland has to move on from him. This whole thing of Dame trying to be the best player on the championship team for Portland, blah, 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 I get it. It's getting played out. And I think Portland's making a severe mistake doing this. I think they should capitalize on what the value that Dame and Nurkic have now, but more so Dame, and just do a full-on rebuild. I mean, we've seen this. This hasn't worked. Dame's been the best player on this team. It hasn't worked. I think that you guys need to be committed to a full rebuild for the first time. And, yeah, I think they're moving backwards. I don't think they're moving forward, trying to build around Dame.
I think Portland did a hell of a job. For them to free up this much cap space and have a trade exception this big, I mean, yeah, that's a great job.
But what are they going to do with it?
This is what I'm saying. The Blazers had no cap space whatsoever, and they were able to totally free up 2 max cap slots for this offseason.
So you're commending them for freeing up cap to get nobody.
They're not going to get
I agree with what you're saying, but when you really think about it, who are they going to get?
It's the shot that matters. Okay. It's the shot. They're giving themselves a shot.
The exact reason why I started my monologue with commendable is the perfect word.
The Blazers are in a spot to where if it was me, I'd rebuild. I think the young players they have now, Anthony Simons, Trendon Watford, who I watched him at LSU.
Love Anthony.
He's okay. Nazir Little, CJ Ellaby has shown some flashes. Greg Brown is just uber athletic, and Keon Johnson, he's also just uber athletic. He's a raw prospect right now. This is totally unrealistic. But for the sake of this segment, I thought I'd compile it together just because Portland's goal is to build a contender around Dame. Now that they have so much money to get free agents and they have this trade exception, what's the best case scenario? What's the best roster they can possibly build if everything goes right? And I got the roster right here.
Oh, boy.
The best free agents, in my opinion, in this upcoming free agency class are Beal, Levine, Ayton, Miles Bridges, Colin Sexton, Jonas Valanciunas, TJ Warren, Otto Porter, and Montrezl Harrell. At least ones that I think like Portland could be eyeing. Best case scenario is the Blazers starting lineup next year is Damian Lillard, Zach LaVine. They land Jabari Smith in the draft, Miles Bridges, and Nurkic. And off the bench, they have Simons, Otto Porter, Montrezl Harrell, Josh Hart, and Keon Johnson and Nasir Little. That's the best case scenario that the Blazers could be in.
Also a miracle of God.
Also, if you think Zach
is not leaving Chicago,
go
bro.
there,
He's not leaving Chicago, bro.
That's a dream scenario.
I'm not saying he would go there, but I told you it's unrealistic. But and if it's not Levine, it's Beal.
Should be Beal first.
Yeah.
Well, it's Levine is better. That's why I said this is the best case scenario.
Yeah, okay.
This is best case scenario.
They'll probably get a top pick.
And yeah, I mean, if they can land a Chet or Jabari, I mean, or even a Jaden Ivey, that would be crazy. But the Blazers' best case scenario still is not a championship roster. And this is unrealistic. This is a miracle that would be answered if this offseason would happen. And it's not likely. Because of that, I think they should just trade Dame and just get back a young, promising player, notably a wing, who can play with Simons, and then you build around Simons, and now you have cap space for the future, and you bring in some vets in there to fill around the squad. They're going to have a top pick in this draft. If they can land one of these blue-chip prospects and they trade Dame, and now they have Simons and a Jabari Smith with maybe another young player in there. I mean, this looks like a really damn good young core.
They trade Dame during draft night to like the Knicks for their pick.
Interesting.
And they keep their pick and get the Knicks pick?
They got both picks,
Do you
both
think?
lottery picks.
Do you think the Knicks want to give up that high of a pick?
I'm just saying, like, I'd be like, we're doing
For Dame?
hypotheticals. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like they get 2 lottery picks. You keep Anthony. Now you get a Jabari Smith or a Chet, and now you get like a Jaden Hardy. Now you fill out your starting 5 because Nasir Little's still there. Now you got all that money.
If you're the Knicks, would you
players.
rather Dame or would you rather a young guy?
Take the young guy.
I'll probably take the young guy. Me personally,
I think so too.
I don't know at this point. I don't know what they do.
Dame, RJ, probably Randall.
Oh no, one of them has to go.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
That's a waste of time.
Because who are they really paying money?
That team is a waste
They're paying Nerlens. They're paying Randall. They're paying who else?
Fournier. Alec Burks, Noel.
And those can easily be moved.
True.
Fournier's getting paid $17 million.
And that could be gone.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, that was a lot of money, man.
I mean, they could do it, but I don't know. It really depends on how the season turns out. I think it depends on if the Knicks want to win or not. If they want to win and they want to go all in on this Julius Randle, RJ core, then they go out and trade for a Dame. If they don't, then they don't. But if they have that pick, then I wouldn't be opposed to it. If we keep RJ and we get
If you
Dame,
keep
I don't
RJ and
care.
Randall, now you have a top 5 pick. You can throw that in there with a bunch of scrubs and then be like, yo, listen, we got this pick. It's promising. We'll maybe give you another pick. And we got 2 guys. Give us Dame. Now you got Dame, RJ, Randall.
I mean, think about the last time the Knicks traded for a big player, Carmelo Anthony.
Lit.
They gave up a lot, but in the
how many
grand
of those
scheme of things,
guys-
agreed. So they're not as poorly run as maybe you're giving them some
True.
slack for.
Maybe.
They are poorly run, though.
Yeah, I was just about to say
Yeah,
they are.
like, what do you
They
mean?
are. Yeah, they are.
They
man.
I'm trying to be nice to you guys.
Don't be nice to them. Is he nice to your Lakers?
He isn't. Not by any
He's
means.
not a Lakers fan, though, bro.
Why do you keep saying that?
Because you're
Why
not.
do you keep saying that?
Yo, you
I'm
vote?
more of a Lakers fan than you are a Knicks fan, without a doubt at this point
No,
in
you're not,
time.
bro.
No, I am.
You're really not.
I am.
Nah, that's
Really
debatable.
It
You've
is.
been a Lakers fan for 2 years, bro.
And I ride for them more than you ride for the Knicks.
Yo.
How?
Bro, you're on and off on Randall. At least I will RJ. At least I will not openly bash my Lakers.
I mean,
What
you have
does
the
that
right to
mean,
bash
though?
them.
I
Right
do
now,
have the
though.
right, and
Yeah.
I refuse to.
What does that mean? That just makes you an unrealistic
You're
fan.
just like a fair weather fan. When the Knicks do really well, you're really into it, and then, when they're not well or not
And
doing
you
really
flip
good,
flop on
Well,
your
that's
best
not that you
player.
flip flop, but like you don't waste your time watching it.
well, since
To call me not a Lakers fan is whack. Is whack.
since 8th grade, I've seen the Knicks make the playoffs twice. I have a right to my opinion and how I feel.
I guess.
You literally have said on this podcast that if LeBron goes to a team, that's the fan you're of.
Yeah.
So if
He's on the Lakers.
LeBron
So I'm a
is
Lakers
probably
fan.
not going to retire with the Lakers
Why do you think that?
because you guys suck.
He wants to play with his
That's
son.
why.
If his
Maybe
son makes
you're
the
right.
NBA,
So
until
whatever
that
team he
happens-
goes to, you're not going to be a Lakers fan no more.
So until that time comes, I'm a Lakers fan.
So you're not a Lakers fan then.
No, he's owning you right
so,
now.
He's on me,
so
but-
if he goes to, if LeBron let's just say he goes to the Wizards, you're gonna be a
We're gonna
Wizards
have this
fan.
conversation again.
You're gonna be a Wizards fan.
Yes.
Oh,
Bro,
man.
it doesn't matter what the Knicks do. I will always be a Knicks fan.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
So like,
No, I'm
but
sure.
you're not always a Lakers fan. So you're not more of a fan of the Lakers than I am of the
Houston,
Knicks.
so it's Houston. then it's the Nets.
OKC.
Now
Giddy.
it's, no Giddy. I won't even throw
Hold
in
on,
there. I'm
hold on,
not
hold
going
on.
to
Wait,
disrespect
hold
you.
on. For one, Harden is not on the Nets anymore.
I understand.
don't
So
give a
now
damn
Philly.
about
So now Philly. Agreed. You didn't let me finish. So now we have to add Philly to the list. My point
I don't
being
give a
is,
damn about
at
Philly
least I
either.
ride
I
for
care
one.
about Harden, that's
for
it.
one, you're just a little bit all over the place. So to now call me a Laker fan is kind of whack.
No, you're a LeBron fan.
Yeah, I
You're not a
understand.
Lakers fan.
But I am a Lakers fan.
Okay, who was the starting lineup in 2015?
Look at the Got him.
Oh, Kobe Bryant.
What?
Kobe Bryant, 2015.
Nah, yeah,
Why
Kobe
would you name
definitely
the
would.
two guard first? Do your thing.
'Cause he's
I'm
Kobe
sorry,
Bryant.
Do your thing. Do your thing.
Probably D'Lo, Julius.
Yeah.
Ingram.
No,
I'm
Ingram wasn't
joking,
there
I'm
yet.
joking.
Julius was
Sacre.
drafted in 2016.
Robert Sacre.
Actually, I'll give you an easy question.
Wow.
Who was a power forward that played for the Lakers when they were trash around that in the middle of the 2010s era? He was 6'10" and played at Duke.
Oh, I know this. This is easy. Actually, I might guess. Can I answer for him?
No. I want to see him struggle.
He's not gonna get it.
I watched the Knicks star Lexi Shved, bro.
Good for you, man.
And Dennis Smith. And
Yeah.
Dennis Smith Jr.
I thought it was high.
Remember the Chris Copeland time?
Yeah. I remember.
Wait, so is
Time out,
the player Carlos Boozer?
Time out. Joel.
No.
Joel.
No.
Time out. Hold on.
6'10" played at Duke.
You were watching Lou Amundsen.
Duke doesn't help me. That didn't help me at all.
Duke didn't help me. I
Yo,
thought it was Boozer.
Rib. He was watching Lou Amundsen. He got it, bro.
Oh my God.
You got it, bro.
When I say the same, you're going to be like, oh, wow, I remember him.
Jordan Hill.
Ryan Kelly.
I
remember him.
Wow, he was bad.
He was good at Duke, though.
He was nice as Duke. Why did I think of Carlos Boozer? It's
Safe
alright,
to
bro.
say you're not a Lakers fan.
It's
Okay.
all right, bro. Take the L in peace.
I'll take it.
Bro, I saw Jose Calderon start for my team, bro.
That was rough.
Out of his prime, bro. Jared Jack. Yeah, I've been through these point guards, bro.
LeBron played with some bad teammates.
Bro said LeBron.
I guess that's what makes it valid, right? I got to talk about LeBron only. He's played with some bad guys. Went to the finals with a trash
Should be
team.
more of a Cavs fan. To be honest.
Can't do that.
LeBron's played most of his career on the Cavs.
Listen, I hope he goes back.
This weekend is one of the better weekends in the entire year because it's the Super Bowl. It's this Sunday. And the moment we've all been waiting for since September is finally here. In honor of the big game, DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 56, is giving new customers 56-1 odds on either team. Bet just $5 to get $280 in free bets if your team wins. DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in New York, meaning you can bet from almost a third of the country. The Sportsbook isn't in your state yet. Play DraftKings Daily Fantasy Football Contest for Super Bowl 56. New customers can get a free shot at $1 million top prize with their first deposit. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code TBPN and get 56-1 odds on either team. Bet just $5 and get $280 in free bets if your team wins. That's promo code TBPN at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 56. When this trade went down, Twitter shut down. Twitter was making jokes about it. It was all over the place. And that was a Tyrese Halliburton for Domantas Sabonis. I think as a whole, Twitter felt that Tyrese he never should have been traded.
Julius Randle was on the team.
Oh, he was?
15, 16.
He was on the team.
He was drafted in 2015 or 16.
You asked me 2015, so I'm going to say, God, bastard. I'm mad at you.
Domantas Sabonis was someone that Kings fans didn't really want. The NBA world was shocked when he went to the Kings. And in his first game, in his debut, he has 22, 14, and 5. And there was a picture of him hugging De'Aaron Fox. And they look like the best of friends. And need I say, he plays like a power forward that used to play for the Kings
Chris
that brought
Webber?
them to
Are you gonna
a
say
Western
Chris?
Conference Finals.
You gonna say Chris Webber?
Bro, I might walk off.
Chris Webber was dead nice, bro.
They have similar play styles.
That's kind of crazy that you say that when...
Chris Webber's way better than him, though.
Go ahead. Finish talking.
Webber's
What
not-
are your thoughts on these new look Kings? They traded Halliburton to the Pacers, but now
You're not high on Sabonis.
look at their team. I mean, they traded
Both of them aren't.
they traded Halliburton, Hield, and Thompson for Sabonis, Layman, Holiday, and a 2023 second-round pick. And there was a 14 trade in which they got Dante DiVincenzo, Trey Lyles, Josh Jackson. The Bucks got Ibaka, 2 future second-round picks in cash. The Clippers got Rodney Hood and Semi Ojeleye, and the Pistons got Marvin Bagley. Kings' projected starting 5 now is Fox, DiVincenzo, Justin Holiday, Barnes, and Sabonis. Off the bench, Rashawn Holmes, Davion Mitchell, Jeremy Lamb, Metu, Harkless. How do you feel about these new look Kings?
I like that for it. First of all, they had a good game yesterday. They won. They beat your Tims.
Yeah,
I
I
love
know.
every Tims L.
Why?
That's my new agenda now, pushing them to be losers. But the Kings go win. Fox, Sabonis, they played well.
Great.
Sabonis.
It was at first it was a surprising move. I thought they would choose Hallie, being the more pure point guard, and if they was going to make a move, I thought they would make a move for Hallie and send Fox out the way. They decided to keep the guy Fox, and then they rode to go get Sabonis. Then, not to mention, they went to go get DiVincenzo, who's still a good player. Josh Jackson, he's all right. He's nothing crazy, but he's all right.
Decent defender.
Yeah, he's all right. So they made some moves, and they made the moves to say, listen, we're gonna try. And they have 2 all-star caliber players on their team. Dante DiVincenzo, he's young, but he's a really good role player. He's somebody who can definitely help the team. They still have Holmes, who's still a really good player. So they have players. They have pieces. Davion Mitchell, he's still a good player.
Barnes.
Harrison Barnes, who's an all-star caliber player. Low tier, though, before I go insane. So they have a bunch of good players. It's just about, putting it, you know what I'm
You
saying?
said Barnes is all-star caliber?
Low tier. Like low
He'll
tier.
never get
I
in,
don't
bro.
think he's even that, though.
Where he gets
He's
buckets.
not. Wait.
He's a good scorer.
He's not just as good as Tobias Harris. I swear to God, he is.
He's not.
Why isn't he?
He's not.
It's about the same tier, bro.
Yeah, he's just as good as Tobias Harris. Harrison
I don't
Barnes.
know.
Wait, did you guys vote on my poll yesterday between Harrison Barnes and Karis LeVert?
I picked Harrison Barnes.
I
Why are
picked
you
Harrison
voting?
Barnes.
Why are you doing that?
No, who did you vote?
I didn't vote, actually, no.
What's your vote?
Harrison Barnes and Karis LeVert.
I'm going with Karras.
He said Karis LeVert could be Chris Middleton, so I believe
What do you
that.
think? What do you think, Joe?
I said Harrison Barnes.
Harrison Barnes?
I voted
Harrison
for him.
Barnes is just in my opinion. Harrison Barnes is
I feel
just
like
as good as Tobias
that's like the
Harris.
tier they're on.
Yeah, they're low all star, like low. But it's Sacramento's in deep shit. Let's just be honest, man. They're
Well,
franchise.
I disagree.
Their franchise is in shambles. They wanted to make a move. Sabonis is still really young, though. Fox is young. Barnes isn't old. I think this was more towards a gear to try to get into the play-in this year and maybe make a run next year, be a little bit more retooled.
You know why,
But-
right?
Why?
Because they have the longest active playoff drought in the NBA right now.
I don't even think getting into the play-in is going to change that.
They give themselves a shot.
Yeah, I just think at this point they just want to be competitive.
They just
and
wanna
play
make the
competitive-
playoffs,
yeah,
bro.
play competitive basketball. But I don't know, like this move for Indiana. Let me talk about that for Indiana for a little bit. They get their point guard of the future.
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
Next
sorry.
segment.
Thank you. So we're just talking about the Kings right now.
Yeah.
All right, bet. So back to the Kings I go. They're mid, bro. Let's just let's cut in ties. Fox is good, Sabonis is good, but none of those guys are game changers, franchise changers, in my opinion. None of those guys is gonna really threaten either one franchise. Barnes is good, but I feel like Barnes would be much better on the contender. He's shown that ability. He can be that guy on the championship team. But nonetheless, good move for this team to try to be competitive for the Kings fans. I wish them better though.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, we
Personally, I think what they were missing was a skilled big. They haven't had that. Where they thought they were getting it in Marvin Bagley. Unfortunately, that just didn't happen. They ended up trading him away. Rashawn Holmes is not a skilled big man. He's not that type of guy that can play like Sabonis, where he can play up top on the...
I hate this guy, bro.
I don't understand what you dropped Pringles, by the way. That's what you dropped.
Oh, okay.
So regardless of that, and I remember earlier when we were talking about Sabonis and his defense, right? This guy said he was a cone.
Who said that?
River, actually. He said, word for word, he said he was a cone.
I said that?
You said he was a cone. You still believe that?
No, I said that?
Yes.
You sure I said that? Because we got to make stuff really clear here.
That sounds like something you would say, bro.
No, I just want to make sure before I answer his question.
To the point where Joel, before we were going to record the football episode, he also reiterated to me that he is not a good defender.
Okay, so he said not good. I said cone.
Yeah,
okay,
no, both of you are just on the side of he's not a
Okay, now what's
good
your question?
defender. My whole point is you bring in a guy with the interior presence that he does, and Sabonis being a solid defender.
Okay.
And now you pair that with De'Aaron Fox. This team now has 2 all-star caliber players in De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis, where now the pressure and all the eyes aren't all on De'Aaron Fox. I understand the idea where if I'm fans, I see Tyrese Halliburton, who's having a great, successful season for the Kings, get traded away. I'd be upset too. He's a great facilitator. He's a solid scorer, very efficient three-point shooter. But you can't look at it from a super wide lens. He's averaging 14 points per game. He has flashes of being a great scorer, no doubt about it. But it's not on a consistent basis. De'Aaron Fox is not the player that he has been last year. That being said, he's still averaging 21 points per game. His efficiencies are not the best, but they are slowly but surely getting up as he's getting healthier. And now with the addition of Sabonis, now his looks are going to be better because Sabonis is very good at incorporating other players into the offense. Harrison Barnes can create his own shot, can get his own shot. You don't have to worry about him, but Sabonis will get better looks for Harrison Barnes, where in his first game now, Sabonis had 5 assists and Harrison Barnes had 30. The trio together had 30 points in Harrison Barnes, 22 in Sabonis, and 27 in De'Aaron Fox. And that's on night 1 against the Timberwolves team that has been playing great both offensively and defensively. And now to add on to this, you lose Halliburton, but now you allow Davion Mitchell to step up in the rotation, where he's not a starter, but he is your 6-man off the bench, and he provides a great spark for you coming in on that 6-man role. Defensively, he's probably their best guard defender there is. And offensively, we've seen his offense improve as the season's gone on. True. His three-point shot's starting to fall a little bit more. His facilitating's also been very important to me, too. I see Davion Mitchell, and you lose the great passer in Tyrese Halliburton, but now you have a really solid passer in Davion Mitchell. So I feel as if it hurts to lose Halliburton, but they had the guard depth. They had it with De'Aaron Fox. They have it with Davion Mitchell, who's the best defender. At least you have now one of these guards that is an excellent defender. To pair that with Sabonis, who is also a facilitating big man, who plays excellent defense, who can also score at a very efficient clip. I love the move.
So talking about the move, I know there was an uproar on Tyrese being traded. In the grand scheme of things, I think it came down to the Kings' decision being who's going to be better in the long run. Who do we bank in on being the better player in the long run, De'Aaron Fox or Tyrese? De'Aaron Fox has had a season where he's averaged 25 points. He's shown flashes of being able to shoot. I mean, I don't know what's really going on this year, but this year he's still giving you 21 points per game, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. Although he's not the facilitator that Tyrese is, I think that right now, and even in their peak, I think that he's just going to end up being a better scorer than Tyrese. I mean, he's had seasons where he averaged 21. Last year, averaged 25. So I'm more comfortable with him being a scorer. I mean, it was just a decision between the two. In the long run, we'll find out if the decision that the Kings made to keep Fox over Tyrese was a smart one. But like I said, I was skeptical at first. Obviously, you give up Tyrese, who was showing flashes of being pretty good this season, especially the games that he wasn't playing, that I saw him playing, running the point guard while Fox was hurt. I mean, he looked like an elite level playmaker. He can turn into one. I like the move for Sabonis. I mean, he's young. And when I look at this team, we look at Harrison Barnes, like Rashawn Holmes, the timeline on this team should be getting younger. Harrison Barnes, I believe, how old is Harrison Barnes? About to be 30 this year? Or he
29.
is 30, 29. Rashawn Holmes is around the same age, 28, right? 28, 29. I think you have to get younger at those positions. But I like what the Kings are doing. It's almost like they're throwing their fans a bone. This is a team that, like, has the longest active playoff drought in the NBA. I think the last time they made the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken, was 2007. I like this move, and I want the Kings to go all in on trying to make the playoffs. I think it's important that they break and snap that playoff draw. I think it's their fans deserve it because they've been loyal, and I think that this roster, when we see them play more, I think there's a chance that they might be able to sneak in that plan. Do I think they will ultimately end up getting in? I don't. But even then, just give your team something to play forward, look forward to past the end of the season. But in the offseason, I mean, defensively, this team is pretty horrible, and Sabonis is not fixing anything with that. I mean, they gave up the second amount of most points per game in the NBA at 29. They give the most points in the paint. They defended three horribly, and their opponents shoot around 50% on them. This team is horrendous on defense and has to improve. So in the long run, I do think that the trade is good. I think that they did end up keeping De'Aaron Fox, who I think in the long run will be better than Tyrese. I'm going to make that statement. I'm going to stand on it. But then again, I mean, this roster is far from being done. I don't think Sabonis and Fox are going to really do anything. I think you have to prioritize getting better at the small forward and at the center position for this trade to take off.
So you said the Kings are 29th in points in the paint, opposing points in the paint?
52 points in the paint per game. They're last in the league.
Wow.
Yeah, their defense is terrible.
Yeah, and Sabonis is not fixing it.
They need what?
Bro,
He's not fixing it.
inside
Let's be real. They need
when he said Sabonis isn't fixing anything, you shrugged your shoulders like he's lied.
I mean, you get some kind of presence. Yeah, it's going to change a little bit at least.
But Sabonis
But
is
like
not
what, from
changing
30
that.
to like 25? I mean,
What you said, they're 29th right now?
no, they're dead last.
I mean, it's going to be better than dead last.
What, 28th?
Any signs of improvement is
Bro, but
good.
hold up. That's Rashawn Holmes better than Jared Allen, though. That's what he's
Rashawn
talking
Holmes
about.
been in and out of the lineup also a lot this season.
Because he's mid, bro.
Because he's been hurt, he's mid.
I always thought he was, man. He's a solid center, though.
The reason why people hated this move is because it was short-sighted, and that's what it was. Are the Kings now more fun to watch this year? Yeah, I think they'll be more fun to watch. Mostly because it's not going to be a offense where Tyrese and Fox are just sharing the ball. Now it's going to be Fox and Sabonis a lot in the pick and roll. You have Sabonis on the post, passing and kicking it out from there. He's a very good passer, and it showed versus Minnesota. I think their offense now becomes more different. It becomes harder to stop. It's not as predictable. For the past couple of years, they have been stacking the same players at the same position. They have been stacking players at the same position. Now you finally have somebody in Sabonis who is a clear upgrade at the forward or center spot. Doesn't matter where you slot him in. And over the past couple of years, they've had nobody that's a real threat from there. Rashawn Holmes isn't. Marvin Bagley isn't. Sabonis is finally a threat. And De'Aaron Fox versus Tyrese Halliburton. Look, I think Tyrese is going to be better. He's averaged 19 and 10 and starts without Fox. He's a better shooter. He's a better defender. Sometimes he's a bit too timid on the offensive side of the ball. But they couldn't maximize Halliburton because they didn't have anybody who can finish his passes, to be honest. I was at the Knicks game and I was watching the Kings play. Halliburton could have had 10-plus assists that game, but, I mean, everybody was missing. Everybody was missing on great passes. But also in that game, he struggled offensively. The debate between Fox and Halliburton, well, we won't have the answer until years down the line. But I think you can, if you're a Kings fan, you can feel optimistic about these moves because it feels like they now have a sense of direction. I mean, they were able to bring in Jeremy Lamb, Justin Holiday, Sabonis, who are all, Sabonis is an all-star, Holiday and Lamb are great rotational players, and DiVincenzo, who's a starter, or if not a great rotational player, and they didn't have to trade any picks. They didn't trade a first-round pick to get these guys. They didn't totally go all in on these guys to try to win now. They just got them. They still have their assets for the future. They'll still be able to land a top pick in this draft if they do indeed not if they finish with one of the worst records in the NBA. They finally have a sense of direction, and I think that there's some room for optimism in that. And they also became a better team. Between Sabonis and Halliburton, Sabonis is better right now. It just is what it is. He's the better player right now. He's more consistent offensively. Even though Tyrese is a really great passer, Sabonis is somebody who's capable of getting 8 to 10 assists any single given night if his perimeter players are shooting well and at a good clip. And I think getting Dante DiVincenzo was really the cherry on top. He hasn't been good this season, but he's still battling back from an injury. He was a 38% three-point shooter last season. He's a great defender. So now you have somebody who can play alongside Fox, who can defend at a high level. Barnes can defend at an okay level. And Justin Holiday is an okay defender as well. They still won't be a great defensive team or even a good one. But now they have an identity on offense. They know what they want to do. And most importantly, De'Aaron Fox, who's their franchise player, is happy. He now doesn't have to be looking over his shoulder, looking at what Tyrese is doing every single time he's not playing or when he is playing. Now he has a running mate in Sabonis, who they feed off each other. And I think the Kings finally are finding players that fit alongside their current players, and that is a good thing. Hopefully they keep that trend going forward, but it is a short-sighted move. De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis isn't taking you anywhere. I mean, if they get into play-in, that is a step up. You know, are they making the playoffs? I don't think they will. And in the future, really, what are they going to do? What is a core of Fox and Sabonis going to be? It's not going to be anything special. It might not even bring you consistent playoff berths in the West. Because of that, it's a short-sighted move because Halliburton can really become a good player, but he's off in Indiana in a place that's going to suck too. So we're not going to see that.
That's actually facts, though. He's off in Indiana.
I feel like Sacramento and Bagley not working out really halted where we all thought that they would be. So now instead of Bagley, where you're getting the disappointment, now you're actually getting who you thought you were getting in Sabonis.
True.
So I agree with what you're saying. Is it a lock for playoff berths? Not necessarily. But at the same time, we see how great De'Aaron Fox can be, where he can average 25 points in a season. Sabonis has shown he can be an all-star type of player. Now you pair these two guys together, where Sabonis has not played alongside another all-star caliber player like De'Aaron Fox. I love Malcolm Brogdon as much as the next dude. He's not De'Aaron Fox. So you pair this again, like I said, a Harrison Barnes, a 5 with Rashawn Holmes. At the point, you have De'Aaron could run the point, but then off the bench, Davion Mitchell. I agree with what you're saying. Do I think they're a 1 to 6? Probably not. But they could eventually, if they decide to keep this core together, be on that border of that 6 to 8 every single season.
You keep naming me this roster, but what you're saying is what I'm saying. They aren't a team that's going to net consistent playoff berths.
No, but I think they can. 6 to 8, but that's 6 to 8.
So you're banking. Okay, so Sabonis is 25 years old. You're
26.
banking 26. You're banking on
still very young.
Wow, he's 26.
You're banking on him to take another leap in his game.
I mean, he's already a solid
And
ball
then
player.
Fox, you're also banking on him to take another leap. We'll get back to what he was playing with before.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
He is 25, actually.
I
Turns
know.
26 May 3rd.
Yeah, I know.
And De'Aaron Fox is how old?
23.
22 or
There you
23.
go. It's like these guys are still young. And Davion is 23 also. Harrison Barnes is older.
It's about
Rashawn
the
Holmes
pieces
is older.
around them.
No, I agree, but they got some decent pieces.
It's not that the point is not that they're young. It's just I have a thing. It's in the NFL and NBA. Once you've been in the league for 4 years, we already know the player that you're going to be.
And Sabonis is a poor man's Jokic.
I don't want his name anywhere near Jokic's. I'll be honest. Maybe
What I'm saying is absolute facts.
Maybe you can say something else. I don't.
No, he's a poor man's
He
Jokic.
is Sabonis. That's who he is.
He's Sabonis. I
And
don't.
that's a poor man's Jokic.
All right.
Listen, for all the moves they made, they're 20th in 3-point percentage, 23rd in total rebounds. Sabonis fixes the rebounds.
No, he fixes 3-point percentage too.
Yeah,
He doesn't fix the defense, though. This defense is still horrendous.
Look, offensively, the Kings will be really good.
You have to.
Offensively, they're going to be good.
You can't fix everything in a trade. You know, you got to just try to find a way
Brooklyn
to fix
did.
something.
I'm joking.
Like Justin Holiday, he helps 3-point percentage. Jamie Lamb, he's a good shooter. I know but we know he can shoot the ball, so he's another one that can help maybe. So you have to fix little by little with a team like this. You got to fix little by little.
That's center
and
spot there.
getting Sabonis. So Sabonis can play the center.
This is the thing, though. This is the thing. Sabonis and Fox, yeah, they're young, but I think they've hit who they're going to be. Like they're going to be those players. Like Sabonis is not going to get significantly better to the point that you're like, wow, he is really taking this leap. Fox too, like, and a duo of Sabonis and Fox.
Why not Fox?
Because I really just think Fox is who he is. I mean, he's a scoring guard.
You were high on Fox last year.
I like
though.
Fox. He's a great player.
Fox over Ja. That was the take.
I never said Fox was over Ja. I said he could do something similar. I never said that. And that was before Ja took this leap, by the way. So this is what I'm saying. Sabonis and Fox aren't going to get better. They can get better.
Fox can get better.
They can build up chemistry. I mean, he can definitely improve in his shooting. But even last year, he shot at a pretty decent clip, and that was his biggest thing. He needed to work on his jump shot. He's been in the league for 4 years now. I kind of already have an idea of what Fox is going to be. They're going to be a fun team to watch. But the duo of Fox and Sabonis, where does that rank in the West? It's not better than Kawhi and PG. It's not better than Ja and Jaren Jackson Jr., in my opinion. It's not better than Jokic or Murray. It's not better than, just name me, it's not better than Luka and who. It doesn't matter. Luka and number two, doesn't matter who number two is because they have Luka. They're not better than these teams in the West. They're not better than Cat and Edwards and that duo. I don't think they are.
Donovan and Gobert.
Mitchell and Gobert. They're not better than them.
They're not even better than LeBron and AD, bro. Like
they're not. I don't even mention it because Lakers suck. But
are they better than Zion and Brandon?
I would take Zion and I would take that duo over the Kings. So basically, they have to fill out this roster around Sabonis and Fox. But Fox is getting paid a lot of bread. Sabonis is getting paid a manageable contract for his skill level. I think it's one of the better bargains in the NBA. But you don't have too much money to play around with to fill out this roster. So they either have to hit on the draft or sign under the radar free agents that can exceed the expectations that they set for them. And because of that, they're kind of stuck in mediocrity, or they won't even be mediocre and they just won't make the playoffs. So it's either they're going to get in the playoffs and be a first round exit, they're going to be the Al Jefferson, Paul Millsap, Utah Jazz, or they're just not going to make the playoffs.
I think right now that's just the goal, just to get in.
Yeah, they haven't made the playoffs since 07,
so
bro.
bad. I think just to
it's like
get
throwing
in
a bone at your fans.
It's just a blessing in itself at that point because they haven't been in so long. They just need something to bring some light to that arena. Like it's just bad in there. It's all misery and sorrow and losing. Like it's terrible.
They need a blue chip prospect. That's what they need. They need another one, and like it doesn't really. You really don't know if they can get one of them.
Nah, you wouldn't get Chad.
What were
the
picks that they traded for Sabonis?
They only traded some second rounders.
Okay.
So if
they have the first round pick.
Yeah, they don't make the playoffs. Lotto, maybe Jabari.
It's really, they have to bank on that. But this was
they're stuck where they are.
This was a move that, like, they're going to be a more exciting team to watch. And they had a great debut against the against the Timberwolves at home. They play with energy at home. On the road, they're just really bad. So I want to see them on the road.
For sure.
I want to see them on the road.
I'm with you.
And I'll see where I am. But, really this
you're gonna tune into Kings games?
Yeah, I'll definitely tune in. So this was an okay move, but, really I think the backlash was that why did we trade Tyrese and basically to be a play-in team?
Because Halliburton's been exciting. And unfortunately, it took parting with him to get Sabonis. But
I think it's really that they think Tyrese is going to be better than Fox long term. That's what it is.
Say that one more time.
Fox is going to be better than Tyrese.
I think fans think Tyrese is going to be better than Fox.
And me personally, do we think that Halliburton could get to that 25 clip?
I don't think he needs to be better than
because he's
Fox.
A great facilitator.
Chris Paul has never averaged 25, and he's better than Fox.
For sure.
Like, not even a debate.
But where the team is right now, they need to figure out an identity. Where if they're not going to be great defensively, they need to be great offensively. And they can be great offensively. Not great, but they can be really, really good. They have the pieces to be really, really good on offense.
The Pacers were the other team in this deal. They traded Sabonis, Holiday, Lamb. They traded Aaron Holiday, Torrey Craig, and LeVert. This is a new roster now, and you have these young players on this team with Tyrese Halliburton and Chris Duarte, if you want to count him, even though he's a really old rookie.
Yeah, you're not counting Mitchell. You cannot count him.
Isaiah Jackson. They traded for Jalen Smith, and Miles Turner is there. I would still consider him in that young realm. They have 2 first-rounders this upcoming draft. One belongs to Cleveland, which probably will translate over to them. Can the Pacers be competitive quicker than we think. I mean, if healthy, their lineup is Brogdon, Hallie, Hield, Turner, TJ Warren, and you have Duarte and Jalen Smith off the bench. And what do you think? Are they just going to be bad?
This team is Indiana, man. Well, last season we walked in, we had our little off-season previews last summer. You know what I'm saying? And I thought like this team wouldn't be that good. I felt like everybody got better, and they just didn't get better. There's just too much of the same type of players, and they weren't good. But also to their credit, they was hurt a lot. You know, had guys with time. LeVert was in and out the lineup. TJ Warren hasn't played. Brogdon was in and out of the lineup. So you know, to their credit, they was hurt. But at the same time, you know, I felt like that's where in the draft why they picked Chris Duarte, because they felt like they would be competitive. So you get a guy like that who can come day one, he can contribute. So I thought they felt like they'd be competitive this year. Now you're in a position where, look, we got 2 first-round picks. We got our point guard for the future. We traded LeVert. We got that contract off our hands. We traded Sabonis. We had to do it to get our point guard. Now what's the next move? I feel like they're in an okay position because they have a point guard who's on a rookie deal. They have Chris Duarte, who he's a little, let me not say a little, he's older, but he's a player who you know is going to contribute.
Right?
Maybe 25.
He's 24.
24. He's a little old, but, you know, he's somebody who's going to contribute on a daily basis. So, you know, you have those two guys. Isaiah Jackson, he's a young prospect who you can still work on and help him get better. Brogdon's going to be there. So it's like you still have some guys you need to move, but nonetheless, Indiana, they're in an okay position because they have draft picks. They have young guys that they can build around. But I don't think this move. This was just a move to get another player to build around. And I think now they're building around Halliburton. Miles Turner has said that he likes the idea of playing with Halliburton. So maybe now that Sabonis is out of town, you're looking at Miles Turner like, all right, maybe all this hype about you wanting the ball. Let's see if you can make another improvement. He's still 25 years old. Maybe you can get a little more out of him. We know he's great defensively. Offensively, what can he bring outside of the three-point shooting? So now you're looking at this roster and you're looking at what can we do? Like, what can these young guys do to show us, like, all right, we need to make this next move. They're going to be in the lottery next year. So this is another guy coming in. You got your point guard. I feel like Brogdon should be moved later in the offseason. But nonetheless, I feel like they're not in as bad as a position that people think they are, because they do have still some young talent and they have their picks. So I think they'll be fine down the road. They just needed to make some moves. I still think they need to get Buddy Hield off that team, though. His contract is a little too crazy for me, and his play has dropped. But I think maybe the new environment, he could probably play a little better. But I think the draft is where they're gonna really make their mark.
I think Jalen Smith and Miles Turner, that front court can be intriguing.
Really?
Yeah.
Just the spacing it can offer, I think it could be intriguing.
Well, now we could really see what Jalen Smith's about. You know, so I think
he's going to get the most opportunity.
I think this is the perfect spot for him.
Tyrese Halliburton was the player that the Suns passed on to draft Jalen Smith, and now they're teammates.
Look at that.
That's pretty interesting.
What about you, boy? You're Indiana boys.
Coach of the year.
Yeah, facts. Unfortunate that didn't end up that way, but it is what it is. Pacers have dealt with a lot this season. Malcolm Brogdon was their best player to start the season. Achilles injury has derailed his season. Sabonis has been their most consistent player, but he's been their most consistent player. Miles Turner missing some time. This line's just all over the place. So I can understand where they're trying to have a new image. You bring in Tyrese Halliburton. He's a great facilitator, efficient scorer. Has shown when he's given the opportunity, he can be a very efficient, very solid ball player. In terms of how the roster is constructed right now, you have Brogdon, you have Tyrese Halliburton, you have Buddy Hield, you have probably Jalen Smith, I'm guessing, and then you have Miles Turner whenever he comes back. What is really the difference between this lineup and then you have Sabonis and you have Halliburton? I feel like right now there's nothing very drastic. I get it. Halliburton is a different type of ball player, but Brogdon was facilitating just fine, scoring just fine when you had him in the lineup.
Well, the difference is Halliburton's like 8 years younger.
So do you believe that they're going to, if we're talking this season, right? If we're talking for the future, I get it, because Halliburton's young.
I think Indiana's walking in the rebuild mode, so you got to look at like the future.
And if I'm Indiana with Brogdon's health injury, with his health over these last few seasons, you're probably going to want to move off him. But it's unfortunate given the fact that he was your best player to start the season. I wish I understood why Joel was laughing. Is because I'm praising
laughing.
Malcolm Brogdon?
No, I'm
Wait, you thought he
laughing.
was better than Sabonis?
Who? Malcolm Brogdon? No.
I don't know
He
why.
was playing.
I really don't know why he's laughing.
He called
No.
him a poor man's joke because, of course, he doesn't think he's better than him. I know I'm laughing because just how Riv says things. It's funny. Because he was just like this. He was like, because he's about like 8 years younger. Yeah.
just
Is
started
Brogdon
30.
that much older?
He's 30.
Nah, he's 29, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I was like, he's a little old.
It makes sense. And he's probably getting some money that he probably
About
should
21
not be
mil.
getting. So eventually they're going to move off him. But it's hard to trade him right now, given his injury history, given the fact that he's dealing with an injury right
he's
now.
mid.
But he's supposed to be coming back. He's not mid. No way, no how.
Who's not mid?
Brogdon's mid. Like if you, like you're saying he's mid, he's an average ball
I
player.
throw the mid around loosely.
Wait, you do. That's why I'm saying
Who's
that.
better, him or somebody like a Harrison Barnes? Who's a better player? Because I feel like that. No, I'm being serious. That's the tier
I mean,
of players.
it's so different because one's asked to facilitate. Like Brogdon's so good.
I swear to God, I can name like 15.
I'm sure you
17
cool.
point guards.
Yeah, I
better.
agree.
15's the
But I
halfway
agree with
mark.
you.
Oh, yeah, if you are average, you kind of are mid.
Yeah,
That's
there's
the
30
average,
starting point
He's a
guards. in the
good ball
league.
player though.
He's
solid.
like
He's
18.
solid. He's solid.
He's a solid ball player. You're saying he's mid,
solid.
like just mid.
All right, I just throw the mid around.
Mid with us is like we could do without him. You could do without him.
I can do without Malcolm Brogdon.
If Malcolm Brogdon was, would you like Malcolm Brogdon on your squad?
Yo, Lonzo Ball's better than him.
Not better. He's just better fitted. Like I wouldn't.
Would you say Brogdon over Caruso?
No, I wouldn't sleep.
Like Brogdon averages almost 20 points per game.
He's getting paid $21 million. I'm really good.
21's not that bad, and you average almost 20.
No, I swear to God, I'm really good off him. Like I would not like
25 and 5. Like
you know how in 2K they had the delete player from roster. Like if you delete Malcolm Brogdon from the roster, nothing's gonna change in the league. Like it's not even no slight to him.
I agree with
Like,
you because his
nothing's-
injury history,
No,
but he's a
it's not
decent
the
ball
injury-
player.
It's not the injury history, bro. He's just not. Like he doesn't have that. Like he's just mid, bro. Like it's like he's just not that guy. Like I told you this.
He's a solid player,
Bro, I told you this in the offseason. Indiana has a lot of mid players that if you just take them out the league, nothing changes. Like there's nothing that's gonna change about the league.
Like Karis
nothing,
LeVert?
nothing in the history books. Nothing like there's like nobody's gonna be hurt. It's just like they're gone. Like and it's just like all right, like they can retire tomorrow, and it's like damn, well. You know, on to the next day. Like we're gonna move on. Like there's no shame. The NBA has a lot of players, but I don't think Malcolm Brogdon is that player where you sit there and be like, oh yeah, he's somebody like he's an elite player. He's a nice player.
25 and 5 is very firm.
I understand. Listen, you're gonna throw me the numbers, and I'm gonna listen. But bro, like I know you watch him play, you don't think, yo, damn, he's 25 and 9. I know he probably like if you watch him play and then the game is over, you probably think he had like 15 points. I swear to God. And then you look at it and it's like, what?
No,
like how do you have 25?
Drew,
like for real.
to be honest, like they're violating him right now. He's a solid player, but I think like his role that he played in Milwaukee is like a role that fits him.
Yeah,
you know?
like
I think
that
that's the type of
role.
player.
Like,
He's a solid player.
Like he's like like not.
But
a
like
role
but you're
player.
trying to like I feel like you're trying to say like he's whack though, and I don't
Nah,
think he's
not
a whack player.
I called
bro.
him mid. He's mid.
He's a good player, bro.
Bro, if you're the 18th ranked point guard in the league, come on.
The point guard position is stacked, though.
It is.
That's true.
Is he better than Kemba?
What?
Is he better than Kemba?
Why are we asking that? The
Kemba
answer's
might not be like
clean.
top 25.
No, but he is better than Caruso. You just would rather take.
I would no for fit wise. I would rather take
He,
Chris.
I
No,
think
he
he's
is-
better. He might be better than Lonzo too, though.
Brogdon would be your best point guard.
But would he be?
But I don't
a
even
better
think
fit?
Brogdon's a
The
true
fit,
one.
no.
I don't even really.
I
view him
think
as a true
Brogdon's
one.
like a true two.
I think so too.
Definitely. His role in Milwaukee is like the excellent role for him. That's like really good.
I mean, I think we can all agree Indiana is just rebuilding.
No,
right now.
for sure.
Yeah, I'm kind of
That's
surprised.
really what I was saying, but you got caught up on Brogdon.
I'm sorry, we was in a laughing
Like,
moment.
yeah, you
so
just try
it's
to you take like the whole segment trying to violate.
yeah, we was in a
Malcolm.
laughing moment. But I feel like can you like if you trade Brogdon today, honest to God, do you think you can get like 2 first rounders from him?
No.
Not with the injury history.
Can you barely even get a first
I think
rounder?
you get a late first.
If he had no injury history, yes.
I don't.
I
Even think
really
about
don't
that
think
either.
it's the injury concern.
I'm telling you,
bro.
like he's a very good ball scorer. Like he could score the basketball.
on a championship team, he's like the 4th, 5th guy.
And Milwaukee, what was his role? Third, right? Third option. It was Giannis, Chris Middleton, and him. People
Bledsoe.
No, people were saying
No,
that they
they
would have
traded for
rather
Bledsoe.
kept him over Bledsoe.
No, yeah, that's a fact. But
That's
like
a
for
fact.
that year, like it was Bledsoe though.
Yeah, in the long run, it wasn't. But yeah,
He was basically on a championship team. He was Alonzo role. That's what he was.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I
There's
just
nothing,
think
but I'm saying that's
he's a
in,
good player,
Indiana is rebuilding, and
For sure.
I think the weirdest thing about the situation is that one of their younger players or one of their younger core guys is 24, and Chris Duarte. Like, I think that's what makes it kind of like
Good player though.
yeah, he's a good player, but you kind of feel like he already peaked. He's already peaked.
Yeah, like that's what I said. I think they really thought they was gonna compete.
In the
so they
grand
drafted him.
scheme of things, that's a horrible pick.
You need guys like
You
that.
lost Levert. You lost Levert. You're gonna lose CJ. You're gonna lose Sabonis. You really drafted a 25-year-old.
At that pick though, who was really
What pick were they?
They were the 14th pick.
at that pick?
Who
I
was
think,
available, bro?
I
Because they
feel-
really thought they made that pick because they thought that he could contribute now to a team that was gonna win.
he has though, and I think I would make that. You need
He was
guys
the
like
13th
that.
pick, so they drafted him over Moses Moody. Alperen Şengün, Corey Kispert, Trey Murphy, Trey Mann, Kai Jones, Jalen Johnson.
I think you still make that pick.
Same
Cam
over
Cam
Sam
Thomas?
I'll be honest.
Same
I go
thing.
Moses Moody.
Would you go Alperen too?
If in my head I'm like we're rebuilding, I go Moses
Rib, who
Moody.
would you go, him or Cam Thomas?
Him.
Him?
But then you put Chris Duarte on Golden State.
Yeah. See, we don't want to do that. Like,
Yeah.
we don't want to do
That'd have
that.
been good.
I still think it's an alright move because you need guys like
This
that.
is kind of like where the Kings and the Blazers are at. Is that like they need a blue chip prospect and they're just trying to rebuild and go all in right now. Like really, their only young players that excite me are Jalen Smith and Tyrese.
And you have to bank on Tyrese Halliburton becoming an all-star.
You have to bank on his
That's
development.
what the Pacers are banking on.
Yeah, or just be steady and just lose games so you can get an all star. You know,
And the
really.
rebuild's gonna be here for a while. You know. Miles Turner.
Because let's say if they get a top pick, they get a Chet Holmgren, then Sabonis, you lose Sabonis, it doesn't hurt that bad.
Then Miles
Literally
Turner
fits
becomes
perfectly.
expendable.
There you go, that too.
I think he still is. I thought that Jalen Smith moves made him. I thought once they made that move, I thought that they were gonna trade Miles Turner.
I kind of felt like they were going to fire sale their entire team at the deadline. I thought that meant trading Turner. I thought that meant trading
Warren.
Warren. It's weird.
You can't trade him because he's injured.
Yeah,
Right?
I thought they were going to trade Buddy Hield as well. Like
Me too.
I thought
It's
they were
just
gonna
hard to
go
come
into a
by
full
players
fire
if
sale.
you're Indiana.
It's hard to find a good move for you know. So I think like because even like Buddy Hield, where was you gonna send him?
You sent him to a team that's contending, I guess.
Then you got to find a contract that matches. His. Then you got to find something that's right for you. It's like
We've been talking about teams that suck for a while. Let's go into the Dallas Mavericks. They're pretty good. The Mavericks traded Kristaps Porzingis. I think this was the surprise move of the deadline. I wasn't expecting this to happen. There was barely chatter about it happening, and they traded him to Washington for Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans. Now, is this a good move? Do you think the Mavericks got better? I mean, you're shaking your head, JC. Do you feel strongly about this?
Yeah, I do.
say the
feel-
trade one more time. I'm so sorry.
KP for Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans.
What?
Trades poop.
That's a horrible trade.
They didn't get a pick or
sucks.
nothing.
And I tried to think logically about this.
It was
and
hard to do,
The
wasn't
only
it?
way I think that, let's say Jalen Brunson leaves, at least you keep Spencer Dinwiddie because I think he's going to end up leaving. But I think it's a risky move, bro. I mean, we were talking about Dallas as a top 5 defense, and now you're trading away probably one of your most improved defensive players. You're shaking up a unit that was top 5 in defense, getting worse with Bertans, and Spencer Dinwiddie's not that good of a defender. And then Bertans this year, he's getting paid $80 million, and he's shooting 31% from the 3, which is a career low.
He hasn't been playing much.
He's
Yeah.
in and out the lineup. You can't get no rhythm.
But yeah, and then you have another person this year who's been underwhelming on the roster as well as Tim Hardaway. He's been awful this year.
He's actually out for a while.
So I mean,
They just paid Finney.
Vinny.
That was great.
I mean, look, yeah, they with a move like this, you're kind of forced to. But I mean, I think the Dinwiddie. I mean, I don't know if I like the fit. I mean, I think that they did this just in case Jalen Brunson and Jalen Brunson has value. There are a lot of teams that want him. The Knicks probably want him. There's a bunch of other teams that want him. He's a good point guard, and I mean, you're shaking up a top 5 defensive unit. I mean, in the middle of the season, and I felt like the Mavericks, although they weren't a lock to get out of the first round, I think they had a way better shot with the team that they had with Porzingis, rather than shaking it up and bringing Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans. So I'm kind of like skeptical on their whole defense. I don't know if this is going to make their defense plummet. They're getting 2 cones basically. Spencer Dinwiddie's not a good defender. Davis Bertans, you lose rim protection. Now Jason Kidd's going to have to implement these guys and try to get them to buy in defensively, and they're not defensive players. It's just a move that really just didn't make much sense to me, and I don't know why they did it.
I actually disagree. I think this was a good move for the Mavericks. And I know on paper it doesn't look like it because you're like, oh, Dinwiddie has been playing bad. Bertans, oh, he's Davis Bertans. He's not. He's like just a floor spacer. The Mavs are 13-8 without KP this season. That sounds like they're barely above 500, but over the last 6 games, they really haven't had him. They've won 3 in a row without him, with the starting lineup of Brunson, Luka, Finney-Smith, Bullock, and Powell. In the last 6 games, Reggie Bullock has averaged 18 points per game.
He's been really good.
Shot 48% from 3, and is
Not
making
sustainable.
4.7 threes per game. The Mavs are 9-1 with Bullock makes 4 threes or more a game.
Sounds like a bet.
Their best lineup this season, defensively, offensively, has been this lineup, this starting 5 of Brunson, Luka, Finney-Smith, Bullock, and Dwight Powell. I think KP was extremely replaceable. I think it was quite clear that he can't be your second star. He's too unreliable. He's not healthy enough. I don't think he's even good enough to be your second star. He wasn't what Dallas traded him. He wasn't the player that Dallas thought they were trading for. He's not a star player. He's not that unicorn. He really isn't. And now they added depth. I think Brunson still starts. Now you have Dinwiddie come off the bench. I think that's a much more suitable role for him. Just come off the bench, run the offense, and do your thing. He doesn't work well with other players when they want to have the ball. He was clashing with Bradley Beal. In Brooklyn, he was shining because he had that role of, okay, off the bench, you just do your thing, or you and D'Lo take turns and you guys go at it and you get your buckets. I think this is a much better fit for him. Davis Bertans is a much-needed floor spacer. For his career, he shoots 40% from 3, so I think that's an upgrade. And their depth is, I think, pretty good. Now, if you have a bench fully healthy of Dinwiddie, Hardaway Jr., Bertans, Kleba, and Josh Green, who's been playing better as of recently, I think it's good. I think the timetable of KP and Luka, that kind of thing has already run its course. We already knew what it was going to be, and it's really just about surrounding Luka and maximizing him with the personnel that fits around him best. And I think this trade did that. The only thing I didn't like about the trade is the obligation they have to these players. Dinwiddie is locked in for a couple years. Bertans is locked in for a couple years. So these aren't expiring deals. This is their roster. Now, how much better can they make their roster moving forward? Well, hypothetically, if Dinwiddie starts to play better, Bertans starts to play better, and these players just play at a tradable level, they could package these assets into another star. And now they can pair that star up with Luka. So I think it makes more sense. I think there are a lot of teams that didn't really want KP because of the injury history. They don't want to take that gamble, and because of that contract. Because of that, I think this was a good move. I think he's a good player. KP's a good player, but they're winning without him. They're great defensively without him. It's not that huge of a loss.
This team has been riding on defense all season. 5th in defensive rating, 19th in offensive rating, 9th in net rating. Now, you said Dinwiddie coming off the bench is going to be a good idea. It has to be, because him as a starter wasn't good. He's not better than Brunson. Obviously, I don't think him and Luka would work if they're starting in the same lineup. So him running the bench unit would probably be his best bet. Bertans, hopefully he gets more minutes, because you're right, he is a floor spacer. He can shoot that three-pointer. That pick and pop can be really, really dangerous. He just has to find his rhythm and hopefully continue with the minutes. Paying Dorian Finney-Smith was good. Like you said, Tim Hardaway Jr. has been playing good this year, but I think, come playoff time, they're really going to need him. Like, he's going to be one of those guys that can hit big shots. Last year, he was hitting a lot of big shots in that Clippers series, and he was lighting it up for them. So I think for them, finding a second star is going to be tough, because Luka, once again, is going to have to probably carry the shoulders of that playmaking. Not that playmaking, but in the playoff time, you know what he does. He's going to have to carry that role, because in this league, you need 2 stars. I don't care who you are, whether you're LeBron, Luka, Giannis, you need another star behind you to help you out. And in this West, like, you got Utah and their 2 stars. You got Phoenix and their 2.5 stars, because Aiden is like a half. You got Steph and Clay and Dre, and then it's tough. The Clippers, you got them 2. Memphis, you got them 2 emerging stars. And then in the East, of course, they got their 2 stars. So it's like Luka needs a wingman. If Luka gets a wingman, Dallas turns into a contender. But for right now, this is an okay move, because I think, like you said, Porzingis is injury concern. And in the playoffs, he doesn't really show up. You know, he kind of shies away defensively. He starts to panic offensively. He starts to not find his
That
groove.
Clippers bubble series, though, he really instilled his will.
But then the next year he didn't.
Agreed.
So it's like,
No doubt.
I think
They struggled as a whole, though.
You know what I really think it was? When they
Outside
went
of Luka.
small, he couldn't do anything.
Correct.
Once the coaching changed, he didn't do anything.
I'm
so
with
I
you.
think I think him going into the playoffs this year, you got to look at the teams that they're going to play. They might play Memphis. They might play Utah. I think Dallas can upset one of them. It's going to take a Luka heroic, but we've seen Luka do it. But I think Dallas can definitely upset one of these teams. But at the same time, good move because you get two guys that are reliable. You know they're going to play. And hopefully Dinwiddie can get back to that six-man role, you know, getting those buckets off the bench and playmaking off the bench. And then, of course, you keep Brunson and Luka as that starting backcourt.
KP was getting $33 million this year, had a $36 million player option for next year.
He was accepting that.
Dinwiddie, after next year, he's a free agent. He's getting paid $18 million. Davis Bertans is locked in until the 24-25 season, and he's making $17 million and $16 million. So these contracts are tradable.
Yep.
Like, they're tradable. They can trade this, and they can package it.
Yeah.
So if they outperform themselves, if they outperform what we think they can be in Dallas, they can trade that for another star. And I think it's pretty good. KP, he's not worth $36 million. He's not.
36 is crazy.
He's been playing very well this season when he's been on the court. He's missed over 20 games this year, which sucks. But when he's been on the court, he's been pretty good, averaging almost 20 points per game. And when him and Luke were on the court, it seemed as if they were getting their chemistry together. And for me, it kind of hurt to see them give up on it, especially after year one. They had their success. Year two, they struggled. But year three, they were starting to get it together. It's just KP couldn't stay on the floor, and he's missed these last 5 games. And Dallas would love to have him on the lineup. I struggle with them trading for a player who over their last 7 games is averaging under 7 points per game. I struggle with making a trade where
Who's that, by the way?
Dinwiddie.
Okay.
Dinwiddie, who was the key piece of this trade. Whether it be Bertans and you need the shooting, because sure, you can always love to add depth, but are they going to call on Bertans' number as much as I guess Mavericks fans?
They aren't.
And Dinwiddie over these a few of these field goal percentages over these last 7 games: 1 for 12, 2 for 10, 3 for 10, 2 for 9, 4 for 16. It got to the point where they're just not even giving him the ball or giving him the opportunity. 1 for 5, 2 for 6. This is tough for me to accept because when Porzingis is on the court, the two can have success at the same time. And Luka, we all know what Luka is capable of. He is a top 10 player at the absolute minimum, and he has the capabilities to propel his team past the first round so long as they're not playing the Clippers. I do believe so. I just think that giving up on this was a little bit too early. When you bring up the money, fair enough. $33 million for a player who has struggled to stay on the court, I can understand moving off of him. However, I would have loved to see a better return. Dinwiddie and Bertans is not nearly enough for me, especially with the Mavs team who's at least keeping themselves in contention. What are they, number 5 in the West right now?
Yeah.
So I do struggle with it. I do agree with you with the fact that money-wise, it made sense to move off of him. However, you're now losing 20 points per game, who now you're asking Dinwiddie, who has struggled all season to produce points, to come in and step in to take off some of that load. And now you're asking more of Jalen Brunson, who I do believe is capable of stepping in to do so, but not to that degree, of course. And now you're asking even more of Luka, where he's already averaging 26 points per game, and he's been struggling with his efficiencies, but as the season's gone on, he's gotten better. You're asking him to do almost double of what you're already asking for. And I do think he's capable of doing that, but this young in his career, given the fact that the Mavs are in a better position than what most had projected them coming into the year, I would have liked them to at least be a little bit more patient.
I would agree with you, but the Mavs are winning without KP. And it hasn't been because Luka is dominating the entire game and he has the ball in his hands all the time. Versus Atlanta, he struggled from the field and Dallas beat them. And it was the main reason was because of their defense. I mean, they held Atlanta under 100 points. KP did not play that game. Bullock had a great showing. Jalen Brunson had a great showing. They don't need KP. And you saying that KP was like, you basically said now Jalen Brunson has to take that role as the second best guy. Why can't he?
I said he's capable, but do
I
you
know,
think he can get to 20? That's what
I feel,
I'm just,
bro. This is the thing. I feel like you look at numbers too much. Brunson's averaging 16, 17. KP's averaging 19.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think that discrepancy matters to me that much? It really doesn't.
But think about what else Porzingis does for you. The height you lose.
He's shooting 25% from three this year. Like,
But I'm not saying the 3-point. I'm saying the inside game.
He doesn't have much of an inside game. I mean,
defensively, he's at least a presence down there.
Defensively, he gets lost sometimes, especially guarding the perimeter.
Perimeter, of course, is 7 feet tall.
KP's bread and butter coming into the league was the fact that he's a 7'3" big who can shoot. If he's not hitting threes, he's not who he thought he was. Jalen Brunson takes the load off of Luka because he handles the ball in situations, and he's able to be another ball handler. And now when you bring in Spencer Dinwiddie, now you add in a third ball handler who can take the responsibility and the load off of Luka as well. I don't feel like they needed KP in that aspect.
I feel like they've been struggling field goal percentage as a whole. Luka's shooting 31% from three. Porzingis is shooting 28% from three. Brunson's shooting 35% from three.
That's good, though.
It's solid. It's not great.
I mean, that's league average. That's good.
It is league average, but it's like we can't just pinpoint it on Porzingis.
No, I'm not trying to pinpoint it on Porzingis. I'm just saying that we have seen results that show that the Dallas Mavericks' best lineup is when KP is not there. Like, their best lineup is Brunson.
Like, what's the wings
Luka,
discrepancy? Like when he's in and out, what's the difference?
No, they're 13-8, but their best.
But that's
lineup,
what I'm saying. When he's in the lineup,
yeah,
so
but when he's out, they're 13-8. But their best net rating, their best 5-man lineup is Brunson, Luka, Bullock, Finney-Smith, and Powell. The reason being that Finney-Smith and Bullock can guard any single position on the court. Brunson, he at least tries as a defender, and Powell is a very bouncy player. He's a really good rebounder. He's very athletic. He can guard.
I agree.
And he's just a perfect player to play with Luka. And he's also shooting 36% from three this year, even though it's on low attempts. Like, he's shown he can knock it down. I just feel like taking the load off of Luka is not necessarily getting another big. I think it's getting a player like Dinwiddie who can handle the ball. So now, when Luka's on the bench, you don't blow leads because you have somebody offensively.
But you already have that in Brunson.
He's starting. So he's starting, so you don't have that off the bench anymore. So now that they have Dinwiddie's basically going to be playing the Brunson role that he played last year. And I think that's the perfect role for him. So now off the bench, Luka doesn't have to worry about a lead getting blown because Dinwiddie, I know he hasn't playing good this year, but I think he's going to pick it up. He can average 15 to 16. He can go off on any single given night, and he can at least man the second unit. And Hardaway is injured right now, but when he comes back, that's huge as well.
He's been struggling this season as well.
Yeah,
it's
but
like as a
I
whole,
still trust Hardaway.
Oh, I do too. I'm 100% with you. It's just as a whole right now, offensively, outside of Luka, because he has the attempts, it's been a lot of struggling offensively.
The reason for me is I see KP as very replaceable because Luka is somebody who demands the offense to be run a certain type of way.
For sure.
Because
Which
of
makes
that,
sense.
KP is not going to get those post touches. KP is not going to get those touches on the block. KP is basically going to be relegated to a Davis Bertans role.
But as a number two, though, why does that make sense to you?
Because I'd rather have Luka have it.
And I agree with you, but at a certain point, why can't you let your number two get some looks?
Because KP statistically is not a great post-up player, is not great when facing up. There's times where he shies away from taking smaller players into the post and enforcing his will.
He's got to get these 20 somehow. So why not just give him the rock?
That
Let
is
him
true.
try and get his.
That is true.
He's your number two. Why not give him that opportunity?
He's gone.
No, I
over
agree.
now.
No, for sure.
So what's his role in Washington going to look like?
That is a good question.
He might not even play this season.
Beal's out for the season, right?
Yes.
And for Washington, what is it? A Beal and KP?
No.
What is that
yeah,
going to do?
no, that's what I'm saying.
It's going to do nothing.
Yeah.
I agree. I
plus
agree.
they-
So, okay.
Why the move as a whole just makes no sense to me.
It makes more sense for Washington. I mean, it makes more sense for Dallas and for Washington. But I'll ask you this: you're talking about KP being a number two and how Dallas would have more potential with him as a number two, right? With Beal and KP, what's that potential like? Like, what do they look like? What is their ceiling? What is their peak?
Not much better. And Beal's already
And
out for
if-
the season, so we're not even going to get to
If
see
we
it.
don't even think Washington can be a formidable team in the East,
It's Luka though. We're talking about Luka.
no, but
there's
I do think that Washington, if you look at their roster right now, they have more depth than Dallas as a whole. I believe, like they do have more depth. If Beal and KP can't do anything, if KP can't even maximize his play to a level where they're at least formidable, at least a consistent playoff team, what makes me think he can be the reason why Luka gets past the first round and they advance more? Like I don't like KP is not somebody I look at and I'm like, that's the missing guy.
The East is
Like,
tough. We're talking about a very competitive East where now the 7th team is 4.5 games out of first place.
KP's supposed to be an all-star.
And my point is, you're talking about going from Luka Doncic to now Bradley Beal, who obviously is out for the rest of the season.
And they don't have a point guard.
And what do you're really asking a lot of him here.
He's supposed to be an all-star caliber player.
Neto's about to start.
When the Mavericks traded,
No, the Wizards are a mess. I feel like depth-wise, what are we really talking about here?
Kyle Kuzma, Daniel Gafford, KCP, Denny Advia.
KCP's been struggling
Montrezl
defensively.
Harrell.
Got
Unfortunately.
traded.
Harrell's gone.
Thomas Bryant.
Yeah, but at the time he
Thomas
was there.
Bryant's been struggling since coming back from the injury.
ACL.
Yo, Raul Neto's about to start.
They actually just beat Brooklyn.
Brooklyn's on a 10-game losing streak. It's not meaning much to me right now.
Neto had 21.
Oh, look at Neto.
What are the odds?
Shout out to
I'm
Neto.
saying,
Yeah, I'll play Kyrie.
when Dallas traded for
I
KP,
had like 33.
they thought they were getting a top 20 player in the NBA.
You think so?
Yes, absolutely.
20?
Yes.
Did you think Porzingis was top 20 in the
Potential
NBA?
wise.
He was getting there before he tore his ACL with New York. Yeah, we were in the playoffs with him.
Top 20.
Potential wise, yeah.
He was leading them.
Potential-wise, fair.
Unicorn
Wait,
vibes.
Bradley Beal is kind of like a top 20 player.
He's not Luka though.
I hate that, man.
You're not. I wasn't even going to say that.
Mm-hmm.
In 2018, before KP tore his ACL, we were definitely saying KP was better than Beal. Definitely. Because of the defensive prowess and what he brought offensively. Dallas thought they were getting a top 20 player to pair up with Luka. He's anything but that. Last year, he was a shell of himself defensively, not only on the perimeter, but interior-wise. He wasn't a good shot blocker, and he's 7'3". He's not a great rebounder, and he's 7'3". Hey, there are things that KP just lacks, and I don't think he was fixing anything for Dallas, and they saw enough of a sample size that showed we're better without KP. You know, they might not have the star, they don't have the name brand recognition, but they have the fit. They have the fit right.
Are they making it out of the first round this year?
Yes.
I'm going to go on a limb and say no.
Okay. Who? Never mind.
If they play Utah, they'll beat them.
Okay.
If they're playing Utah like currently, they would play.
What about
them.
Memphis?
That's tough, but they can beat them.
That's an L.
That's tough, but they can beat them.
They can beat them.
I think Utah can beat Dallas too.
Oh, of course.
Vice
You got
versa.
it. You know what I'm saying? Donovan.
Nah, because Finney Smith's gonna lock
You
Donovan.
picked
so?
LOL.
the perfect team for me to say Mavs got a shot because I'm out on Utah. But if they're all healthy, I'm taking
Man, it's
Utah.
not the perfect team. That's who they be playing right now.
No, I'm saying perfect team as in who I would agree with you that they could beat because I'm out on Utah. However, a healthy Utah, I'm taking them.
Okay, we'll see. I mean, it's Luka, so at the end of the day,
Donovan Mitchell, man.
Not eventually playing in the playoffs. Going off.
we talked about some of the bigger trades, but now let's talk about a trade that was probably under the radar that you guys liked the most that happened at the trade deadline. So I'll start with you, Riv. What trade did you think was pretty cool that we didn't highlight?
I'm going to go ahead and go for the Derek White trade. You know, I thought in Boston, trading Josh for Derek White, I think Derek White is the clear better player. He's sort of a jack of all trades type of player, a guy who can defend. He can play make. He can shoot the ball. I know the percentages doesn't look right now, but he can shoot the ball. A guy who can finish at the rim.
Defensively,
A very
he's good.
smart player. So this is kind of like a Marcus Smart with some offense to him, like some very knowledgeable offense. So this is somebody who I think is really good for them, a guy who can come off the bench for them, somebody who can provide that spark. So I thought this was a really good trade for Boston. And, it's actually perfect because Dennis Schroeder, they just shipped out. So Derek White coming in and either starting or being that sixth man is really good for them. And I thought they made some nice moves to kind of set themselves up for a first-round exit.
Before you go, the Mavericks beat the Clippers tonight. Luka had 51.
Backpack.
He's like that.
Quiet and play.
Brunson,
Give it to
Bullock,
PG.
Brunson and Bullock had 11. Finney-Smith had 12. Powell had 8.
He only did that. He felt like he needed to say something, but the guys didn't play.
What did I literally just say? You're asking Porzingis to do double.
Wait, Luka.
Thank you. 26 times 2, 52. He dropped
Then
how
when
many?
he didn't
51?
play though. Then we didn't play though.
51. Bro.
51.
He had 28 in the first quarter.
He's
The
unbelievably
two guys
great.
didn't play.
He's unbelievably great.
Marcus Morris played.
And listen, this is the greatest coach team in the history of basketball too.
Reggie Jackson, Powell, Zubac, Morris.
How did Reggie
Batum.
Jackson do?
Bro, we can't.
Man.
Bro, they can't stop.
They all played.
They can't stop Luka.
How
Bro,
did
come
Reggie
on,
Jackson
come on.
play?
He had 18 and 8.
Luka. Yeah, Reggie. My son Reggie had 18. What? 18 and 8.
18
Stop
and 8.
disrespecting him.
Mid.
What about who mid?
Reggie Jackson, bro.
If Brogdon's mid, he's mid.
He's better than Brogdon. I swear to God, he's
Oh
better
my
than
God.
Brogdon.
Bro, that's actually a debate.
I'd rather have Reggie.
I like
Jackson
that
than
debate,
Brogdon.
honestly,
put
but
up
I would
a
rather
ball.
Brogdon.
Yeah, but like, I know what you were gonna say. You're asking Luka to do more, but then I look at the Hawks game where they beat them. Brunson had 22. Bullock had 22.
The Hawks
had
haven't
11.
been that great
He
this
hasn't
season.
been better against
The Hawks
Clippers,
have been
bro.
way better.
Defensively. When was this? I'm asking honest to God.
This was Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good
And
win.
Powell had 12 and Luka had 18 and
Nice.
he struggled from the field.
Nice.
So that's what I'm saying.
It's a good
Like
win.
they have shown they don't
Yeah.
need KP,
Mhm.
but
He just has a vendetta against the Clippers, bro. That's why the game looks like that, bro. You
Mm-hmm.
know, he kicked them out twice. He doesn't get far because of them.
the Mavs record since 2019-2020, including playoffs, they have a .592 win percentage with Luka and Porzingis and a
0.6, right?
0.6 with just Luka. So yeah, it's pretty much the same. StatMuse comes in slow clutch, bro.
I love stat
Yeah,
music.
they're
It's
the best
one of my
account on Twitter.
favorites.
Yeah, they'd be funny.
So yeah, what trade did you like though?
So for me personally, I'm gonna go ahead and say that I like the Karis LeVert trade. I'm sorry, JT, if I took yours, but
No.
yeah,
I think
word,
you
no.
had a good one.
Karis LeVert, you add him to a
like that
team
trade.
that needed a little bit of offense. It was very Darius Garland sided, reliant. Thank you. But you have Jared Allen who's been producing. You have Evan Mobley who's been producing. You have Kevin Love who's taken the 6-man role and absolutely strived well farther than what he's been striving over these last couple of seasons. You add Karis LeVert, who's been averaging 18 points on the Pacers. Struggled in his debut, struggled to a degree, was 4 for 11, but it's going to take some work. He's been having some woes this season offensively, but you're not asking him to be the number one, which is more than fine. You just need him to get his buckets when he can, when the ball's in his hands, and I think he's more than capable of doing that. And it really sparks the question whether the Cavaliers are going to be honest contenders this season. When we spoke about it with the Grizzlies and the Cavaliers, who do you have more confidence in? We all sided with the Grizzlies, and I think I'm still consistent on that fact. But it's possible now, given the fact that how tight this Eastern Conference is and how great defensively the Cavaliers are. You add Karis LeVert, who really gives them that spark offensively. Could they make it to the second round? Are they a potential Eastern Conference matchup? It's one of those that it's a wait and see.
Well, the move for me, even though we kind of already went over this, but I'm intrigued with the Clippers move that they did. I mean, Norman Powell's debut at 28, he was gassing up Robert Covington, having 13 points, and that move kind of, I'm not gonna backtrack because that's gonna look corny at me.
Because Robert Covington.
No, but not even that. It's just they're gonna get Kawhi Leonard and Paul George back, and they're gonna add Norman Powell.
Getting scared of the Clippers
And
being
they're gonna
nice.
Rocco and
Boy,
their
he
championship.
No, he's scared.
Their
He's
championship
scared.
window. Their championship window.
Yeah, I know.
It's
All my teams got
absolutely
championship
open
windows.
again, and I think that moves incredible. I think the
Atlanta?
Clippers are going to be even better
Facts, Nick.
defensively. Offensively, they're going to get Kawhi Leonard back, who I believe is a top 5 player. Paul George anywhere from that 15 to 10 range
That
as a
boy-
player.
Number 12, boy.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, I was really intrigued by this move. Obviously, we're not gonna bank on Norman Powell having 28 when their roster is fully intact and everybody's healthy. But I mean, I think a subtle move like this, adding more defense, shooting, and scoring, I think this opens up their window again that I wasn't sold on. But I mean, yeah, that move was very intriguing to me.
Welcome to the club, bro.
I mean, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, you're gonna have decent role players around them. Reggie Jackson, he's a mid, but he's all right. Luke Kennard's a really good shooter. I mean, they got rid of Serge Ibaka. I don't know what they ended up getting for him. What did they end up getting for Serge?
Just to get some spots so we can re-sign Rocco, bro. That's all I want.
Rodney Hood and Semi
He's gone.
Ojale.
Release.
Oh.
We're gonna release
Both
both,
of
of them.
them?
Yeah,
Yeah, they're both gone. Not even gonna lie to you.
So yeah, I mean, this is a move that I know we already talked about it, but I feel like, because of these blockbuster moves and this being that it happened a couple of days ago, I think people some people kind of forgot about how impactful this move was.
First of all, playoff Reggie is not mid. I need you to understand that.
Well, it was one playoff series. Actually, no, OKC had a
Yeah,
very nice one.
Reggie's actually not mid. Whenever he's been healthy, he's led the Pistons to the playoffs.
Thank you.
Bird?
Yeah, he has.
Yeah,
I don't care.
WCF. Where'd you guys go last year?
Second round.
Oh,
Got hurt.
yeah. So did we.
I think my favorite move was the move that OKC made, the Thunder made. They traded a second-round pick to Miami, and they got KZ Okpala.
Are you serious?
Nah, I'm playing.
I was about to say.
I don't know. He's a young player, though.
Brogdon's better.
I think the Raptors getting Thad Young was good. They needed some center
Solid.
depth. I mean, right now they have no centers literally on the roster.
They have a lot of wings, though.
Yeah, Thad Young, he can be
Love the
classified as a
Raptors.
wing because he's a 6'8" power forward. He's a forward, basically. I don't know if he fixes their center problem. I don't think he really does. They cut Drew Eubanks. They waived him, so he's not on the team. But I think Thad Young at least gives them a solid small ball 5 option. He's going to be a good rotational player off the bench and is a much-needed guy for a playoff push that they are hoping to make. Another one, though, is Montrezl Harrell going to the Hornets. The Hornets have been wanting Montrezl Harrell for a while.
I thought you scoffed at that one.
Yeah, you did.
No.
That you said that the Hornets' answer was for
Montrezl. He
at
definitely
center
said
was
that.
Montrezl Harrell.
Yeah, I did. But the reason why is because it's like the Hornets clearly needed a defensive center.
For sure.
He does not
Needed a
offer that.
shot blocker. They needed
He just offered a lot of,
they needed a defender.
Also plays.
Montrezl Harrell is anything but that. I think he's definitely going to add on to the offense they have.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean,
sure.
the pick and roll with LaMelo or Rozier doesn't matter. The
dunking
energy
and
he
yelling.
brings, it's going to be a very exciting brand of basketball to watch. And they didn't trade much from him. They still kept PJ Washington. They kept all of their main guys. They traded Vernon Carey Jr. and Ish Smith for Montrezl Harrell, a 6th man of the year candidate.
Sounds like a stud to me.
To me, it's a no-brainer move. You got Mason Plumlee still probably going to start, but Montrezl Harrell off the bench, I think that's a fine move for the Hornets. But it doesn't fix their problem, which was
Defense.
defense. Yeah.
Yeah.
They needed a real center, and he's not a real center to me.
I like that Young move, honestly. You get him out of San Antonio where he basically was getting a bunch of DNPs because he wants to get the young guys, Jacob Poeltl. I believe that's how you
Pirtle.
pronounce it.
Jakob Pertl.
Yeah,
His name
Jakob
is
Pirtle.
mad weird.
Jakob Pertl, yeah.
Apologize for absolutely
Poeltl.
butchering his name.
I like
That's how it's spelled. That's how it's spelled, and I apologize.
Poeltl. I like that. I actually like that.
Jakob Pirtle.
Yeah, Jakob Pertl.
Is he Polish?
Yeah, I think so.
Jakob
He's been
Pertl,
playing
yeah.
very well, and he was in talks of getting traded also,
We tried to get him.
but they weren't budging. And
Poeltl.
I know it's so stupid of me.
You know he actually played for the Raptors, right?
Jakob Pirtle,
He got drafted
minute
by
ago.
them.
He did.
and they traded
He
him.
went to Danny Green.
They
trade.
traded him. They traded him for.
It was him, Danny Green, I think, for Kawhi.
Yeah, he was
in
part of the Kawhi trade. Yeah, that was a
that's
Kawhi trade.
lit. I would do that 3 times over. They won a championship, so for sure. But the Raptors have been playing very good ball lately.
Gary Trent just had 42 today.
Bro, Gary Trent is amazing.
He's better than Jordan Poole.
That is honestly not that hot of a take.
We were debating that the other day.
Bro, he is an amazing shooter. His defense
He's
is
definitely better than him.
extremely
Call Gary
solid.
Trent mid, bro.
I didn't say a word just now.
Bro,
I didn't say a
Nah,
word.
you did call him mid the other
And
day.
Pascal
I didn't say a word.
Siakam is
No, the other day.
amazing. He's amazing.
Sick him.
He's not better than Jordan Poole.
No, he is.
He's not better
Gary
than
Trent,
Jordan.
that's not that hot. Like,
He's not better
bro.
than Jordan Poole. He's not better than Jordan Poole, bro.
Oh, man.
Jordan Poole is averaging 16 off the bench, bro.
Dude, Gary Trent has been one of the most
15.
consistent ball players
15.
in basketball this season.
Gary Trent will go to your team and start.
Over Zach? I don't think so, bro.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
We talked about trades we like the best. Which trades did you like the least?
I wouldn't say a trade, but I like this is for me, this is like a loser. And it's Dame. You know, Dame, I feel like he's the loser of this deadline for being and I it's hard, like in real life this would be cool, you know, being too loyal sometimes. Like that's like being a loyal person, too loyal to somebody. I feel like that, like for me, I hold weight to that. Like I respect that. But in the NBA, that's horrible. And for him being too loyal to the Portland fan base, not fan base, I feel like they understand, but him being too loyal to that organization, that front office, when they have yet to put a team around him right
tried.
now. No, I'm saying like right now.
Oh,
of course,
okay.
before they've tried, and listen, last year when they played Denver, they put a team around him. He did everything he could to try to win. Everybody else didn't show up, and then obviously years back he did his thing. But I think for me, the loser in this all is Dame, because he is still in Portland. He's still not on the winner, dealing with injuries. Now he has to come back to a situation that's probably not going to be better than when he went down. So I think for me, the loser is Dame.
For me, the trade I didn't like was the one we went on a huge tangent about, this Mavericks and this Wizards trade. I don't like the idea of trading away Porzingis. I feel as if you gave up too soon. We went through the numbers a bunch, so let's not reiterate really. But I just think for what you traded in a 20-point per game score, you got back an inefficient ball player who's been horrendous this year in Dinwiddie. And
watch the come up, bro.
And Burton, I hope you're right, bro. Listen, I'm not one to really be too upset if someone proves me wrong. I really am not. But I do believe, given the fact that Dinwiddie has just been so consistently bad this year, I would be shocked to see him step up. I mean, you can't do worse than what he's doing right now. So anything would be better than what he's giving you right now. But it hurts to lose Porzingis. Given the money situation, I understand. But in terms of production, in terms of what he brings to the offensive side of the ball, where they struggle right now, I find it difficult to sit with.
And if they get Goran Dragic.
Interesting. But then you add, so that's more point guard depth. So then Dinwiddie, what happens to him?
Old as shit.
It'd be just 1 and 2. They'd be just backup 2, backup 1.
Nets might get him if he gets bought out.
I didn't see your name on the list of teams that he.
Nah, I just saw it now on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Dragic.
Sure, you'll get him.
So whack.
He's not whack
Nets?
though.
Dang,
Oh my God.
I really don't like him.
Wait, he's whack?
I
said
I
that.
personally just I have a vendetta. I don't like him.
Bro, and the year that Miami was in the bubble, Goran
No, I
Dragic
get it.
was-
I get it. Like he could be dumb nice. I'm always gonna call him whack.
You just don't like the way he plays.
Nah, he's corny. I mean, it wasn't really a trade that I disliked, but I kind of felt bad that John Wall didn't get moved. I was
getting paid $40
I was
mil.
thinking that like
Yeah, what happened to Eric Gordon?
that's another one.
He should have got. He really should have got moved.
Yeah,
bro.
I was
The
confused.
Rockets
I thought
did
Rockets were gonna
absolutely-
I
sell.
was tight that the
Lakers
Suns
should've
moved
traded.
Jalen Smith for no.
the Lakers should have traded Westbrook for John Wall. You
I-
have nothing to lose.
I was happy that we were kind of skating
nothing to
around
gain.
us
You have
not
nothing
doing
to
anything.
lose.
They were
You
gonna
should've
send a
done
first
that.
round pick and Russ.
So what?
We were not.
They need
we
that,
weren't
bro.
gonna do
They're
that.
not gonna be
No,
good
we
that
weren't
year.
going to do
In
that.
In 2027, that
We
pick
weren't
doesn't
gonna
I
do
know.
matter,
that.
bro.
That pick's gonna matter, bro.
In
Bro,
2027,
bro. It's going to matter. We're going to be bad. We're going to be bad.
Why are you saying we? You're not a Lakers
Oh
fan.
my God. Here we go back to this. Just say who you're going to say, bro.
I mean, nah. I wish I was on board of John Wall being moved for Russell Westbrook. I think John Wall can do things that Russell Westbrook can't do. He's a better defender, smarter with the basketball, and it's not saying much, but he's a better shooter. Now he's just gonna be on Houston. Obviously, he's making $44 million, but I don't know what his future is gonna be after this year. I don't know what type of contract he's gonna get. I think it would have been good to maybe not up his value, but like show what he can do on the basketball court. But I mean, obviously, he's not being moved. So
Why is the notion that John Wall is going to be better than Westbrook such a big thing when
'Cause
they're
of
kind of like
defense.
the same player?
Because of the defense.
no,
John Wall's going to need the ball. John Wall can't shoot.
Because of the defense.
I mean, defensively, okay,
No, it's a huge deal 'cause Russ's
defensively he
defense is
might.
trash.
Defensively, he probably will be better. But I'm just speaking like
he's a better
offensively-
playmaker than Russ too.
And listen, he's he's a bad
Yeah, Russell
shooter.
Westbrook turns
He's a
the ball
bad
over a
shooter,
lot,
but
bro.
at least he'll make them. Like he'll make
Russell
them.
Westbrook has like an 8 to 5 turnover ratio this year.
Bro, his turnovers have been insane.
John Wall don't turn the ball.
He's
over
top
that
4
much,
in
bro.
turnovers this year. It's been hard. It's been tough.
I just don't think
I
John
don't-
Wall. I
I
don't
don't
think
think
John
you
Wall
have
would have
nothing
made
to lose.
much
I
of a
mean,
difference.
To a
be
degree,
honest.
I think so. Defensively, we need it.
But you know,
We'll talk
funny-
about
funny
the Lakers
thing-
in a few because I know it's going to come up.
Are we
They
actually?
turned that deal down, to be
The
honest.
trade that I didn't like was the Blazers trading Nikhil Alexander-Walker. I feel like he could have been a good young player in their rotation.
Should have traded OKC, man.
Instead, they traded him to the Utah Jazz. I hope that he gets some minutes there. But even though he was very efficient this year, you can kind of see some of the flashes in his offensive game that he could become something. And I feel like with the green light in Portland, with nobody really there, he could have really shined in that position. Maybe they're all in on Keon Johnson, and that's why they traded away Alexander Walker. But I didn't like them trading Alexander Walker personally.
I wanted to see him OKC, man. His cousin.
Two of the teams that didn't make any moves at the deadline were the Lakers and the Knicks. And I think this goes hand in hand with this topic that we have right now on the list. What team are you disappointed in that didn't make a move? For me, it's between the Knicks and the Lakers. And
I would have said Houston.
I'll say this. I think no matter what happens, the Lakers aren't going to win a championship. But I'm more disappointed in the Knicks just because this trade deadline was supposed to give me a clearer understanding of where our direction is heading in. Are we trying to make a playoff push? If the answer is yes, why didn't we try to make our roster better at the deadline? Are we trying to just rebuild and tank for a better pick? If so, why didn't we just trade Fournier or Burks or Kemba. I wouldn't even be opposed to trading Randall. Why do we keep the same roster we've been having all season like something is supposed to magically change? I've tweeted this already twice, and the tweet is blown up 2 times already. We traded for Cam Reddish just to treat him like Kevin Knox. Now, I was never high on Cam Reddish in Atlanta, by the way. And I compared Cam Reddish to Kevin Knox multiple times. He's just a more hyped up, talented version of Kevin Knox. But I do think he's more skillful. The fact that he's not playing at all really disgusts me. Not because he's this all-world player that I think he has this all-star potential. That's what everybody thinks, though. It's because we traded a first-round pick. We offloaded Kevin Knox and a first-round pick for Cam Reddish, and we're not playing him. We basically made that trade for nothing. And now with Derrick Rose coming back, Grimes might be lost in rotation. Even though I think Grimes has already solidified himself in rotation, it's just going to be harder to play these younger guys. Are we going to stop playing Fournier and Kemba or buy him out and Burks? The way Tom Thibodeau operates, I highly doubt it. Because of that, I don't know what our direction is. We're going to start the same guys we started with at the beginning of the season. We're going to win some meaningless games and make our chances at the lottery worse. So I'm disappointed in the Knicks.
Oh, people are gonna say Lakers and Knicks. I'm not disappointed in the Lakers because since day 20, I knew you couldn't make moves because you don't have anything to move. THT isn't good. Malik Monk's your best guy, but you're not gonna move him. Westbrook isn't good, and nobody wants that contract. They can't move him
because he just gets paid like $1 million a year.
Yeah, Westbrook isn't good, and nobody wants that contract anyways. And Kendrick Nunn hasn't played. Your best bet was moving Kendrick Nunn and THT hasn't propped himself up to be somebody people be like, all right, this is a guy we could bank on. So I knew for a fact, unless it's LeBron and AD, which you definitely wasn't doing, nobody was getting moved in the Lakers. So I knew it was never going to happen. So I'm not disappointed or I'm not whoop-de-doo. I just knew you were never going to have anybody to move. The Knicks, I honestly, I thought you was going to make a move on Fox, but I wouldn't say I'm disappointed in it, to be honest, because you guys are just in a weird direction with yourselves anyways. For me, it was Houston, because I thought they was going to make a move on get off Eric Gordon and Christian Wood. I thought those would be the 2 guys that they would get off of Eric Gordon. Especially I thought he would finally go to like a contender and he'll be able to do his thing. Christian Wood, I thought, and I'm upset for this other team in Charlotte because I thought they go get a big. I thought Christian Wood and Miles Turner would be 2 guys on their radar, guys who have shot blocking ability, guys who will help LaMelo in the offense, be that pick and pop, pick and roll type of player. So I thought Charlotte and Houston, those would be the 2 teams for me that I'm disappointed because I watched Charlotte just last night. They have no rim protection. They have no perimeter defense. They're the worst defense I've ever seen in my life. They don't play defense. They don't get after it on the defensive end. They just let guys score. And Mason Plumlee sucks. He's the worst free throw shooter in the league. And offensively, oh my God, it's hard watching him. So I thought those would be the 2 guys. But those are my 2 disappointing teams, the Rockets and the Charlotte Hornets.
Hornets got Harrell.
They did make a move, though. It's a team that didn't make a move.
Yeah, it's all right, bro. Didn't mean it.
He mentioned the Rockets, though. He said the Rockets.
Yeah, you're in the clear.
But actually, the Rockets traded Tice.
I'm not.
Yeah, but that doesn't. That barely counts.
These weak ass.
They had Dennis Schroeder, though.
These weak ass moves.
They did get Dennis Schroeder, though.
These moves. He's gonna get bought out probably. These moves suck, man.
I'll say I am disappointed in the Lakers because I would have liked at least to see us get a role player. Not anyone significant, not a great player.
Try to get Terrence Ross.
Bro named 2 teams that made a move.
I know.
Oh, my God.
I gave you the Rockets. Hornets, I'm sorry, bro.
Tice
That was
is whatever, bro.
I'm not changing my pick.
No, that's fine, bro. I'm fine with the Rockets. Yeah, I'm glad you're okay to look dumb on camera. That being said,
Look at it.
I'm sorry, bro. I would have liked to see us get some kind of role player, like the Eric Gordon. What? I don't understand.
You think I
want anything. I want anything. I'm being honest.
You just said,
bro. We have our depth is garbage.
How was you gonna get Eric Gordon?
Listen, what you're
Kendrick
saying
Nunn?
was right.
THT.
What you're saying is right. We really don't have much to offer other teams, which is why I really couldn't be too overly upset. But Cam Reddish is doing nothing but sitting on the Knicks bench doing nothing.
You thought you was going to get Cam?
Why couldn't we go and make an offer at the Knicks to get Cam Reddish?
You guys did. We actually had trade talks, but nothing happened.
Which is unfortunate, and I really would have liked to see him get some more opportunities, which we would have 100% given him. Our offense right now is very isolation heavy, unfortunately. It's the ball's in LeBron's hands, the ball's in Malik Monk's hands, the ball's in Anthony Davis' hands. It would not have been shocking me to see Cam Reddish get opportunity that way also. It's the reason why Malik Monk has gotten the role that he has had, because he was so good in those situations. So I would have liked to see us do something just to get any type of role player. But Riv, like you mentioned, you're 100% right. There's not much that we could offer teams.
Buyout market,
and I'm happy personally, because there's this report that we apparently could have traded for John Wall if we gave Russ in a first-round pick. And that we didn't do it because of the first-round pick. It makes 100% sense. Why are we trading away this 2027 when, one, that's our only first-round pick for a few years, and in 2027, LeBron's not going to be there. There's a chance that Anthony Davis might not be there. So the team is not looking... If what we're trajecting,
AD's 28, 29.
If what we're projecting, there's a chance that 2027 the Lakers are not going to be good. So I don't blame them for holding on to that pick.
That's tough luck.
Go ahead.
I named my team, bro.
Oh, you did?
I started out
Oh,
with
you started?
Yeah.
My fault. I mean, it kind of went hand in hand with the John Wall thing with the Lakers. I kind of wanted the Lakers to move on from Westbrook. I know the Rockets showed interest in getting Russell Westbrook, but obviously they did a deal. One of the teams turned down the deal. I'm not really sure who it was. I believe the Lakers. I believe the Lakers turned down that deal.
They didn't want to get the first round pick.
But then again, like, I mean, you guys really like that 2027 pick is gonna really matter.
I don't know.
In the grand scheme of things, you already mortgaged your whole future.
It's like 5 years from now.
You already mortgaged your whole future.
But why give more for John Wall? Like, bro, we're giving a pick that's 5 years down the line for John Wall, who hasn't played a single game all year.
Yeah, but then John Wall's on a 1 year deal. You wouldn't have to pay him if the season went.
No, he has a player option for next year.
He can opt in?
Yeah, he can say yes. Give me my money.
Oh, I thought he had. That's why I thought he had a 1 year deal. You could see if you want to resign him.
It's a 1 year, but it's a player. He can say yes. So it's like, no.
I need them to buy him out already.
$44 million.
No, my fault. I thought John Wall was just this, and he didn't have a player option. I thought he was going to go into free agency. That's what I thought it was. I thought it would be a low risk, low reward, or high reward.
Yeah,
move.
$47 million player option next year.
Oh, never mind then.
We need a buyout.
2K is very key.
We need him to get bought out.
There are some buyout options that, these players likely to get bought out. Gary Harris,
Dennis Schroeder,
John Wall, Goran Dragic, Eric Bledsoe, Robin Lopez, Corey Joseph, Ennis Freedom,
you guys are
Tristan Thompson, Paul Millsap, and Eric Gordon.
Eric Gordon and John Wall intrigue me for sure.
John Wall's.
I don't want parts of any of them.
They're not gonna buy John Wall.
I don't know. They probably don't buy him out, but
John Wall's not gonna get bought out. It's a big.
He's in open runs right now, hooping.
That's all I can do at this point.
Michael Beasley.
Michael Beasley. Yeah. Man, I thought he was gonna be a star.
Everybody did, bro. The hype was insane.
College, he was OD, right?
His rookie year, he was a dog.
He averaged 21, right?
Didn't win rookie of the year though.
This is going to do it for this episode of the Pick Aside Podcast. This was episode 154. Thank you again to PJs and Peter for showing us love with this Josh Giddey jersey. It's going to be hanging up here for the rest of time. Thank you so much for listening. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Pick Aside Podcast, on Twitter at Pick Aside Pod, and we'll see you next time.